Well, hi again, everybody. Welcome back to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Mike Parker with TJ Mathewson and our crew this afternoon for Play Hooky Day, game one of a doubleheader. The Corvallis Knights and Bend Elks with a second game and a split gate twin bill at 6:35 this evening. Last night in the home opener, the Corvallis Knights were victorious in their quest to win a seventh consecutive West Coast League championship. Our player of the game was one Ethan Hott out of Chaparral High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. Ethan had the strangest line I think I've ever seen in a West Coast League game. 0-2, 0-2, meaning at-bats, runs scored, hits, and RBIs. 0-2, 0-2. Hit twice, one on each arm. He walked 3 times, did not have an official at-bat. Ethan reflects on that, his journey to Stanford, his decision to come play here while his teammates are back in Omaha in the College World Series. He redshirted this year on the farm. But let's get to his story as told by Ethan Hott coming up next ahead of game one of the doubleheader on a beautiful afternoon for baseball in Corvallis. Game one of a twin bill, the Knights and the Bend Elks, with Ethan Hott next on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Welcome back into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field on a gorgeous early Friday afternoon. The Corvallis Knights and Bend Elks in the first game of the doubleheader. We're joined by a young man who just redshirted this past spring at Stanford, who made the choice to come and begin his career with the Knights, getting ready for next year down on the farm. A pleasure to meet and welcome Ethan Hott to the pregame show. Ethan, it's a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to seeing you next year along the Pac-12 trail, getting in more action with the Cardinal. But let's start with last night's game, your home opener here in this ballpark. One of the more bizarre lines I've ever seen. 5 plate appearances, and yet I picked you as the player of the game for the walks. You got hit twice, one on each arm. How are you feeling today, and what about that kind of game last night?
Yeah, definitely one of the weirder games I had, not even recording an at-bat, But yeah, was able to work. See a lot of pitches, my first 3 at-bats, and get on base, and work those walks in the last 2 at-bats. Obviously got plunked, and not the best places. A little achy today, but I'll be good.
When you say it's an unusual game, certainly 5 plate appearances, no at-bats.
Yet, is it part of your approach to see a lot of pitches? I mean, is drawing walks a part of what you like to do offensively?
Yeah, definitely. Typically last night I was batting, I think, last in the lineup, but typically I've kind of been someone who's batted, in the top end of the lineup, and my job is to get on base, see a lot of pitches, and that's kind of always been in my game. I really want to get on base and hopefully steal some bags and let the guys with some juice behind me, drive me in. So that's always been something I've taken a lot of pride in, definitely.
Ethan Hott, my pregame show guest. Ethan, you were on the road with the team through 9 games, or just getting here to get your thing started after going through postseason play with the Cardinal. They're in Omaha, you're here. Tell me a little bit about the decision to come. What predicated that for you?
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely not an easy decision. And a decision I actually had to make kind of quickly, because the Supers came down to the wire, and then they were leaving for Omaha in the next 2 or 3 days after that. And I love all the guys over at Stanford, all my teammates, my coaches. I loved them so much, and I wanted to be on that journey with them, because you never know, the next time you get to go to Omaha. But then the other half of me was like, I want to get playing, I want to get competing. It's been a little while since I've played in a real game, because I was watching on the bench for the season, and that half of me was also like, next time we do get to Omaha, I want to be on the field, winning games myself too. That was, like I said, not an easy decision to make. I'm definitely supporting my brothers, here in Corvallis, and if they do make it to the championship game, which I hope they will, chances are I may fly out and watch that. So.
Ethan, tell me about watching the regional and super regional, and I brought this up when you made a nice catch in left field last night. You deal with the sun here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. A lot was made about the lighting and twilight time in your home ballpark. You practice in it all the time, so you know what that's all about. What is it all about?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I think that is one of the advantages of playing at home, is we definitely do have some preparation kind of going into situations like that. Typically our practices at Stanford weren't at night, so we wouldn't, practice under the lights too often. But you play enough games under the lights, and, occasionally practices would run later and you would practice under the lights. You kind of just, get more familiar with it. And it's hard to master that. If you lose the ball in the air, you lose it, and that's a terrible feeling as an outfielder. But you kind of just have to trust your teammates around you, and if you do lose it, yell as loud as you can, and hopefully one of your teammates can kind of back you up, and if not point it out, actually run over there and catch it for you. But yeah, that's a brutal way to go out, and I guess we're just glad that we were on the other end of it.
I get that, and I called the Beaver games and saw Oregon State get swept by you guys at Sunken Diamond this past spring. I saw our center fielder, Micah McDowell, at times just lose the ball. Do you see it even happen to your own guys sometimes? Yeah. The conditions can be that tough.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it does happen. I like to think it happens a little bit more to the opposition than it does to us, just because we have, we practice and play there all the time. But yeah, it is tough. I think Sunken, the nights, as the sun's setting, it's just, it's really tough, and that ball can really, if there's no clouds, if there's nothing in the sky to kind of contrast that ball with, anything, that can definitely get tough. But like I said, you just kind of have to, keep your eyes in the sky and try and locate it, and if you can't, hopefully, someone around you sees it and can help you make the play.
I hate to belabor that. I'm going to ask you one last question about that, because Sunken Diamond is one of the great settings in all of college baseball. Beautiful ballpark. I love calling games there, going to games there. It may be part of what drew you to the program. We'll talk about that in a moment. But when the ball, I can't remember who hit, Alberto had nearly hit the walk-off homer. Yeah. Then your next hitter, you can remind us of who that was. When you saw that ball go up, did you kind of sense this is going to be trouble for them?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I thought Alberto, we call him Betts. I thought that ball was gone. He's been absolutely unbelievable all year, and that would be a situation where he would end that game. That's just Betts. But Bowser, D-Bow, he was up next, and he's got so much juice. And there's been times where I've been in the outfield, and he just hits a routine pop fly, and that is. It's not an easy play. You would think it's routine, but he hits it so high. It's in the air for so long. And those plays that are seemingly routine become a little bit tougher. And you're right. When that ball was in the air, I was just like, there's no way that they make this play. In retrospect, you feel bad. That's a tough way to go out. Obviously, Texas had a great season, but Bowser. he was kind of hot in that Supers. I think he had like 3 straight games with a homer or something like that. You just kind of had a feeling he was going to get it done. I thought Betts was going to get it done. Right. When he got on second base, I was like, I knew this game was going to end, whether it be Bowser or whoever was batting after him. But yeah, when that ball's in the air, I'm like, we won this game, even though I knew it wasn't leaving. Yeah.
Amazing way to end, and congratulations to Stanford. Back to Omaha. You are here, but what drew you initially to the Cardinal? Tell me about the recruitment from Coach Esker and the staff as you came out of Scottsdale and Chaparral High.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a pretty high academic kid. Academics was always the most important thing to me, and Stanford obviously is, of the most elite in the country in academics, and they're also the most elite in athletics as well, and specifically their baseball program. Coach Esker, I only heard amazing things about him, and honestly the whole coaching staff. Coach Nicholson, who's not there anymore, was a big factor in recruiting me, along with Coach Eager, the pitching coach. And I visited a few times. I went to a camp out there early in my high school career, and just loved everything about it. The vibes I got from the players, the campus, it was also beautiful, and it was honestly a no-brainer decision for me. I went out, or I think maybe the summer going into my sophomore year, and I didn't have to go anywhere else. I knew that was the place I wanted to be. And then, the decision was easy. I talked to Esky, at that camp for the first time, and he just has a way with people, and he's. I just kind of had a feeling. It's hard to explain. You just kind of know. When you know, and that was kind of the feeling I had. So I jumped on board with them as soon as I got the opportunity. So.
Kind of wrapping things up with Ethan Hott, and then with respect to coming here, it's not as large of a decision in the overall scheme of things as to where you're going to go play your college ball, but this is an important part of your growth as a ball player, and you made the choice to come here early, even as your team is in Omaha now. Ethan, what about coming to be part of the Corvallis Knights?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of Stanford guys in the past who have come here. Matt Scott and Timo Becerra were here last year, and when I found out that I was coming here, I was stoked because I heard the competition was great. Playing at Goss Stadium is obviously beautiful and great facilities, and all the guys who played here in the past had nothing but great things to say about it. And having not played during the season, I wanted to go somewhere where I knew I was going to get a lot of reps, face really good competition, and really kind of up my game going into next fall, so I can compete for a spot out there. So I was stoked. I was really looking forward to it, and kind of obviously I was pushing for my guys at Stanford to kind of make a run, but I was also kind of itching to get out there and play too. So that's why I ultimately made the decision to come out here a little early before Stanford season was over. But I'm really excited to kind of get going. Obviously I'm one game in, but I'm pumped. And
we're glad you're here. The last thing, and I talked about this on the broadcast last night, Angel at bat, just the very fact that you have this sort of heart mindset. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what it is you got involved with pretty early in your life, in your baseball life, with respect to helping kids in Africa.
Yeah. So I think I was a freshman in high school. My mom mentioned that she saw this segment on CNN Heroes. Is a CNN puts on this thing every year where they highlight people who do amazing things around the country, around the world even. And there's a portion where they highlight kids who are doing great things. And there was a kid out of Wisconsin who started this organization, Angels at Bat, where he collects baseball equipment, used or old, and he sends it to Little League teams in Africa, those who really need it. And at the time, it wasn't too big. I think it might have been only on the East Coast. And I'm from Arizona, obviously, and I was like, I really want to get involved in this. It sounds like something I can really contribute with and something that I can be passionate about. So I reached out to, his name's Max. I reached out to Max out in Wisconsin. I was like, I want to open a branch here in Arizona. And it was really easy. So I did. And ever since then, I was holding annual drives with my high school baseball team where I'd collect equipment and organize it, count it all, tally it, name it, all that stuff. I sent it to him, then he'd send it to different Little League organizations out in Africa. And since I got into college, it's been a little bit tougher because I haven't been at home, but it's definitely something. I was actually in communication with him the other day, something that I kind of want to continue with, and I don't want to lose ties with that because it really is a great organization, does a great cause. I was actually, scheduled to go out to Africa the summer of 2020, but ultimately that kind of got canceled because of COVID. But and obviously with summer baseball, it gets kind of tough, but if I could ever find a time to go out there, because, I can only imagine that feeling of handing that equipment to them in person. It's one thing sending it to them and hoping they get it, and obviously that's great, but that feeling of actually handing it to them and watching them play and playing with them even, that's probably unbelievable, and I'd really like to do that, as soon as I can, really.
That's going to happen for you, Ethan, and a lot of great things are going to happen this summer at Stanford next year. I really appreciate you taking time to share a little of your story here on our pregame show. Appreciate it, Ethan. Nice to meet you, and thanks for the time.
Yeah, nice meeting you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ethan Hott, my guest. We've got the starting lineups and first pitch just around the corner. The Corvallis Knights and Bend Elks in the first game of a doubleheader. The second one scheduled for 6:35 tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio.
Welcome back into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Braden Terry leading things off for the Bend Elks and strokes a single to right field. Sam Stem gathers and gets the ball back in. And now Brady Jones faces Brennan Davis, right-hand hitting center fielder for the Elks. A leadoff single for Terry. And now the right-hander to the plate. And the pitch missing down and in. Ball 2-0 to Brennan Davis, the center fielder for the Bend Elks. A leadoff single for Braden Terry, and now Brennan Davis in the two-hole in center. Bo Sylvester on deck, the designated hitter. Luca DiPaolo, the cleanup hitter and catching. Ty Silva batting fifth in left field. The 2-0 pitch is high and inside from Brady Jones for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. Batting sixth for the Elks at first base, Ethan Thomas. Batting seventh at third base, Michael Ball. Maddox Maloney out of Thurston and Oregon bound, hitting eighth at second base. Jake Hoskins batting ninth at shortstop. Braden Wells, not the former Oregon State outfielder. This Braden has a Y in it. Braden Wells pitching for Bend today in game one of this split-gate doubleheader. The 3-0 pitch down the middle for a strike with Brennan Davis taking all the way in the count 3-1. Braden Terry, a leadoff single at first base, held on by Ethan Hedges. It's Brady Jones and Tyler Howard, the battery on this magnificent Friday afternoon. 80 degrees, 42% humidity, about as good of a day as one will see on planet Earth. The pitch on the way is high and inside for ball 4, not engaging in any hyperbole here. It's the truth. This is about perfect for life. 80 degrees, 42% humidity, slight breezes, 6 miles per hour. Perfect day for baseball. It's play hooky day in game one of this doubleheader. And a good start for the Bend Elks, potentially anyway, is leadoff single for Braden Terry. Brennan Davis draws a walk. And now the right-hand hitting Bo Sylvester, the designated hitter, at the plate. 2 on, nobody out. Joey Wong, the head coach for Bend, coaching at third base. Tyler Hollow coaching at first. Brady Jones to the plate. First pitch, fastball for a strike to Bo. The count 0-1. Brady Jones and Tyler Howard, the battery for the Knights in the opener. Ethan Hedges at first, Ty Yukamoto at second, Luke Teal at short, Tyler Quinn at third, Levi Jones in left, J.C. Ing in center, Sam Stem in right. This bright, sunny Friday afternoon, the strike one pitch swung on and missed, and a nice job by Brady after walking Brennan Davis to jump quickly ahead of Sylvester. No balls and 2 strikes as we get underway for a busy day of baseball here in Corvallis and a busy weekend throughout the community, what with graduation ceremonies and just the streets of Corvallis filled, the hotels filled, the restaurants downtown filled. Goss Stadium at Coleman Field not quite filled. In fact, it's a fairly smallish gathering for today. In the middle of the day, a work day, play hooky day, and there are a few doing that. The pitch to Sylvester, foul back. The count remains 0-2. We hope to see many of you tonight. It is Big League Chew trading card night. First 250 kids will get a packet of gum and some baseball cards. That is a great tradition going back for many of us a long, long way. The pitch to Sylvester, fouled at the plate. The count remains 0-2. Braden Terry at second, Brennan Davis at first, nobody out. Brady Jones working on Bo Sylvester with Luca DiPaolo on deck. Gorgeous afternoon, slight breezes, those 6-mile-per-hour winds blowing in from left center field. Brady Jones back to the plate, fastball swung on and missed, strike 3. A nice job by Brady Jones to strike out the 3-hole hitter Bo Sylvester, and that'll bring to the plate Luca DiPaolo for the Bend Elks, the cleanup hitter today. DiPaolo, former Corvallis Knight out of USC and from Flint Ridge, played for the Knights a couple of summers ago. The right-hand hitting DiPaolo takes a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count. The Knights 6-time consecutive West Coast League champions, winning last night in their home opener, a night where they drew 10 walks and had 5 batters hit. Didn't really hit the ball impressively, but Ben pitching provided most of the opportunity to score. The strike one pitch to Luca misses high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike, top of the first inning of a twin bill. 6:35 for game 2. We'll be back on the air for the second game at 6:20 on the Knights live stream and here on Joe Radio. Brady Jones from the stretch. The right-hand hitting DiPaolo looks at a slider just outside, ball 2, 2-1. And even though it's not a large gathering, the folks that are here very locked into the proceedings, including University of Utah head coach Gary Henderson, who will get a chance to see 4 of his Utah Utes in action today. Actually 5 different players in one day of baseball. The 2-1 pitch to DiPaolo misses inside, and the count goes to 3-1. Brady Jones getting the start today for the Corvallis Knights, making his 3rd overall appearance. He's worked 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Comes to DiPaolo and gets a strike on the outside corner. Luca had tossed his bat away and was ready to head down to first. He's called back on a pitch that did suddenly strike me as an act of generosity on the home plate umpire's part. His zone had been tight heretofore. DiPaolo was counting on that again. Now the count goes to 3-2. Ty Silva on deck. 2 on, 1 out, no score, top of the first. The 3-2 pitch to DiPaolo, and Luca was just in a dress rehearsal mode. The pitch high and inside, ball 4. He tosses the bat away and does indeed take his free base. And so Brady, who had walked just 1 in his first 5 innings of work this year with the Knights, has issued 2 walks here in the top of the first inning. And the Elks with the bases loaded. Ty Silva, the right-hand hitting left fielder, the batter. Silva also from USC, and he's from the future home of the A's, Las Vegas. He hits one foul off first. Moving over is Ethan Hedges. He runs out of room. The ball lands a couple of rows in the lower grandstand below the Jack Riley concourse where the youngsters give chase. I don't see any urchins yet in Urchin Alley. I do see 3 baseballs on top of the vomitory entrance to Dixon Recreation. The kids usually get pretty enterprising and find their way to that rooftop. The pitch on the way from Brady Jones is in the turf, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 6:35 tonight, and it's trading card night. The great Rob Nelson in Big League Chew. Rob inventing it with the late Jim Bouton back in the Portland Mavericks bullpen. Talk more about it later. The 1-1 pitch, a fly ball to right center field. Moving over is Sam Stem. He has a play and makes the catch, but Braden Terry is able to tag and score without a play. And Ben leads it 1-0 on the sacrifice fly to right field by Ty Silva. Brennan Davis also picks up 90 feet going to third base. 2 down, 1-0 Bend. And the batter will be Ethan Thomas, one of the aforementioned Utah Utes players whom Gary Henderson is getting to watch in person today. Ethan, big right-hand hitting first baseman. Steps in with runners at the corners and 2 down. Brady Jones to the plate, and a first pitch fastball on the inner half for a strike. 0-1 the count. Brady getting the baseball for the Knights out of Covington, Georgia. 6-foot, 195-pounder from Georgia State. Comes back with a breaking ball in the turf. The ball bounces off of the chest protector of Tyler Howard, and racing in from third base is Brennan Davis to score on the wild pitch. And Bend has 2 runs out of the gate here in the top of the first inning. A wild pitch uncorked by Brady Jones. So the Elks trying to get this series even, off to a good start to that end. Brady, the freshman closer at Georgia State this past spring, and had a big role in getting his Georgia State team to the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, and was a strikeout pitcher along the way. Struck out the side in the bottom of the 10th to secure Georgia State's berth in the tournament. 36 strikeouts in 26 2/3 innings, 4 saves this past spring. He's behind the count here, 2-1. Delivers a fastball. Ethan Thomas, a check swing pop-up into Urchin Alley to the right in front of Dixon Rec. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and 2 on and 2 in the top of the first inning on this 80-degree gorgeous day in Corvallis. Luca DiPaolo at second base with 2 down, only 1 on. The alliteration and all of that falling, unfortunately, a little bit askew on my part. The off-speed pitch from Brady misses, and the count goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Elks have struck first with 2 runs here in the top of the first inning of this gorgeous day for baseball. Jones ready, delivers, and that's fouled into Urchin Alley to the right off the facade of Dixon Rec. And the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. The Knights and Bend will wrap up this 3-game series tonight at 6:35, then play each other in late July over at Vince Genna in Bend. 3-2 pitch is outside in the turf, in fact, for ball 4. Brady Jones has walked 3 in the inning, and again, it seems a bit unusual in that in his first 2 appearances in 5 innings had walked only 1, and Bo Kearns will take the opportunity to walk out and visit with Brady Jones and try to help Brady kind of get back in his what has been at least early more typical command. Bo, the pride of Central Valley High School in Spokane, part of the returning staff for the Knights this year. Ed Nags, disciple of the late great Mike Gillespie, and of course Yoon-Jin Yoon, whom Gary Henderson was talking with me about before the game. Just said Yoon is highly regarded in baseball circles, and that his Utes pitchers who have competed for Gary under Yooni's leadership have marveled over the things that Coach Yoon has brought. So good to see Gary in the ballpark tonight, or this afternoon. He'll be here tonight as well. Big John is here, and it's a smallish gathering for this first one. We expect to see more of you tonight with the first 250 youngsters getting that Big League Chew and trading cards for the Corvallis Knights. The first pitch to Michael Ball, the pride of Nevada, misses low and inside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Ball. Michael out of Southridge High in Beaverton takes the fastball high, ball 2, 2-0. 3 walks in the inning, 2 runs in. both via free passes. Luca DiPaolo's the runner at second, Ethan Thomas at first, 2-0 to Michael Ball. Brady Jones comes to the plate and misses again for ball 3, and his early struggles will lead to some early activity in the Corvallis Knights bullpen, with Caleb Waltz being dispatched down to the pen here in the first inning. Brady trying to find himself and keep himself in the game. A pitch away from his 4th walk in the inning. The right-hander delivers. The 3-0 pitch is low to load him up. It has struck me that while Brady is off, certainly, he's not getting much help from the home plate arbiter. A pretty tight zone. But 4 walks in the inning have loaded the bases, with 2 down from Maddox Maloney, the pride of Thurston High School and University of Oregon bound, staying close to home. Bases loaded, 2 down for Maloney. Jones delivers. Maloney takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Big opportunity here for Maloney to really create some separation, but from the Knights' perspective, Brady Jones trying to keep the damage at 2. Comes back to the plate and misses high again. Ball 1, 1-1. Brady choosing to summer a long way from home, Georgia State and Covington, Georgia. On this gorgeous day, I'm hoping he's appreciating that. He's trying to find the strike zone. It just has been elusive for him today as 1-1 pitch. Down and away for ball 2, 2-1. Again, a very good spring for Brady. 20 appearances, 4 saves. And impressive to be the closer at Georgia State in the Sun Belt as a freshman. He delivers the 2-1 pitch, swung on and fouled at the plate, and the count to Maddox Maloney. 2 balls and 2 strikes with Jake Hoskins on deck. The bases loaded and 2 down with 2 runs in. Brady trying to get through a rough first inning, comes to the plate very high and inside. Ball 3, 3-2. Ben taking a page out of the Knights playbook last night. A high number of 3-2 counts with the bases loaded and the runners on the move. That's the case here for the Elks. The 3-2 pitch, a check swing, strike 3 called, and the inning is over. A tough inning, but a good note on which to end the inning. Joey Wong comes walking away about that call. I don't know if it was a called third or he said the batter went around. Either way, the Knights, in a sense, on that 3-2 pitch, catching a bit of a break. And Joey Wong, who's usually a pretty upbeat young man. His father David's in the house today. The same thing for David. Even-keel temperament, smiles on their faces, but Joey's muttering now. Ben does get 2 runs in the inning on 1 hit. No errors, 3 left. We go to the bottom of the first. Ben 2, the Knights coming up. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the first inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. the Bend Elks getting 2 runs, taking advantage of some control issues for night starter Brady Jones. 4 walks in the inning. Bend is able to score twice, and now the Knights hope to hit the comeback trail early, facing Braden Wells. It'll be Tyler Quinn, Sam Stem, and Ethan Hedges to get things going for the Knights against Braden. And the first pitch from the lefty Braden Wells to Tyler is a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Wells is making his 3rd start. He's worked 9 innings, 7 hits, has pitched well. 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, a record of 1-0. A ground ball to short. Jake Hoskins with his parents in the house. Fields makes the play and throws to first to get Tyler Quinn 1 away. Jenny and Dale Hoskins in the ballpark today watching their son Jake at work, now competing at Linfield University for one of the all-time great men in baseball, Dan Spencer. So it's nice to see former Oregon State coaches around. Spence isn't here, but David Wong is, the pitching coach for the Beavers in 2008. Gary Henderson, pitching coach for Pat Casey from 1999 through 2004, also here. A ground ball off the bat of Sam Stem, fielded by Knights first base coach Ed Nags. 0-1 to Sam Stem. 2-0 Bend, bottom of the first inning. Left-on-left matchup with Braden Wells coming to Sam, who takes a strike, and the count quickly. No balls and 2 strikes to the Knights right fielder. Ethan Hedges on deck, the first baseman. J.C. Ing, the cleanup hitter in center. Luke Teal batting 5th at shortstop. Levi Jones hitting 6th in left. Wells' strike 2 pitch is foul back. Nice job by Stem to spoil. Wells' 0-2 pitch, he went right after him. Didn't waste a pitch. 0-2, threw a strike, and Sam able to fight it off. Tyler Howard batting 7th and catching. Ethan Hott, the designated hitter, batting 8th. Ty Yukamoka batting 9th at second. The pitch on the way, a fast one up from Braden Wells. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes in the first of this doubleheader. Braden Wells 6'2", 200 from the NWAC champ Lower Columbia College baseball team, and from Pullman High School, Trent Bray country. But Wells, part of the NWAC championship run at Lower Columbia, delivers to Stem, who fouls it at the plate. 1-2 the count. 2-0 Bend, bottom of the first. Fastball very high and to the backstop. 2-2 to Sam Stem. Tyler Quinn opening the inning, grounding to short. Ethan Hedges on deck. Braden Wells and Luca DiPaolo, the battery for Ben, under the sun on this gorgeous Friday afternoon. The 2-2 pitch is waved at and missed. Strike 3, a good start. Part of what Braden Wells has been up to early for the Bend Elks. 2 quick outs, and Ethan Hedges, the batter. It is certainly going to be refreshing for Joey Wong and the pitching coach Danny Sales to see Wells and any that would come behind him fill up the zone after last night's 10-walk, 5-hit batter game. And the first pitch here to Ethan Hedges to that end is a strike. 0-1 the count. The right-hand hitting first baseman for the Corvallis Knights. The quick working Wells back to the plate. The strike 1 pitch low and inside. Around the infield for the Elks, Ethan Thomas at first, Maddox Maloney at second, Jake Hoskins at short, Michael Ball at third. Wells rocks, kicks, and comes to the plate. The 1-1 pitch fouled into the Knights dugout. The Gary Baker dugout on the third base side. Gary, the brother of Oregon State Heisman Trophy winner Terry Baker, and a tremendous benefactor to Oregon State athletics. The Elks occupying the Gene Tanzelli dugout on the first base side. Wells' 1-2 breaking ball, a ground ball to the right of Maddox Maloney. He fields cleanly and throws to first, and Braden Wells with an impressive 1-2-3 inning. And after 1 in the first game of a doubleheader today here at Goss, it's Bend 2 and the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. We go to the top of the second inning. Brady Jones had gone back to the hill after walking 4, very uncharacteristically so it seemed, in the top of the inning. Brady was going through his warm-up tosses for his second inning of work, and the decision has been made to bring Brady out of the game. So the new pitcher coming in is the one I alluded to last inning, heading down to the bullpen, right-hander Caleb Woltz. And Woltz, since I assume is taking over for somebody that is not quite right physically, and we don't, of course, up here know Michaela, the team's athletic trainer, will go to work on the right-hander Brady Jones, who has left the game. And we'll try to get a report and have something tonight in the second game of the doubleheader. But for whatever reason, Brady Jones is not able to continue. So Caleb Woltz is in the midst of loosening up, and in theory will have as long as he wants to get ready, since we can only assume that it was some sort of physical issue that led to Brady coming out. Now, he labored through last inning, and if there is something physically amiss, that could explain, in a sense, why it is that Brady was having a difficult time finding the strike zone. After his first couple of outings with the Knights, he had done an excellent job in that category. But he walked 4 last inning, gave up just 1 hit but 2 runs, threw a wild pitch for a run. And now Jake Hoskins will lead things off for the Bend Elks here in the top of the second inning against Caleb Woltz, who had gotten some work in the bullpen during that struggle through the first inning for Brady Jones. Hoskins goes to work on the right-hand hitting and throwing, I should say, Caleb Woltz, and Caleb misses in the turf, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch on the way, fouled to the netting back of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Caleb Woltz, 6'2", 215 pounder from Aurora, Colorado, and competing at the University of San Francisco. Working on Jake Hoskins, who fouls one into the seats on the right side. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jake in the 9-hole. Leadoff hitter Braden Terry on deck with Brennan Davis to follow. Caleb Woltz on for his 4th appearance, delivers, strike 3 called to Jake Hoskins. 1 away in the top of the second inning, 2-0 Bend. And that'll bring to the plate Braden Terry, who opened the game with a solid single to right field and scored one of the Elks' 2 runs last inning. Caleb has worked 3 2/3 in his 3 appearances, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The right-hander works out of the stretch with nobody on, delivers to Terry, left-hand hitting right fielder, and Braden takes low and inside for ball 1, 1-0. The Dons went 18-29 this past season, 8-19 in league play. Terry pulls 1 foul outside of first and past first base coach Tyler Hollow to even the count at 1-1. Caleb was the first signee for Brooke Knight and Dan Siegel and the Corvallis Knights for this 2023 campaign. The prospective architect delivers just outside. Ball 2, 2-1. And certainly a young man after old school hearts, and that he cites as his favorite movie, a work known as Field of Dreams. The 2-1 pitch to Terry, lifted to shallow left field. A long run for Levi Jones, but a shorter one for shortstop Luke Teal. And the Knight shortstop goes back to get it for the second out of the inning. And Brennan Davis, who drew the first of 4 walks last inning and scored the other run for the Elks, comes back to the plate here in the second. 2-0 Bend, 2 down and nobody on in the top of the second. Caleb Woltz out of Aurora, Colorado. Also, I think, spent some time in Pueblo just trying to make sense of the biography that I was able to read on Caleb online. I see Pueblo mentioned in there, but I also see Aurora, so that's something that I hope to clarify with him as we go in the summer of 2023. His first pitch, a strike to Brennan Davis. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. With a Major League Baseball team likely to be relocated, only the second one since 1972, the Oakland A's to Vegas. That appears to be a fait accompli. The strike 2 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes, 2 down, nobody on, 2-0 Bend in the second. But there was a time that former Portland Beavers owner Joe Buzis was flirting with the town of Pueblo to move the Portland Beavers to Pueblo, Colorado. Eventually, Joe ended up with a sweetheart deal in Salt Lake City. Strike 2 breaking ball, a check swing, no swing, says the base umpire, and the count moves to 1-2 to Brennan Davis. That was in the late 80s. Joe ended up staying put for a while, but eventually did uproot the Portland Beavers and take them to Salt Lake City. Fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3. Caleb Oltz, siding Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner vehicle. But another one that Costner was in, Nuke LaLoosh, announced his presence with authority in coming into the game in Bull Durham. And that's exactly what Caleb Oltz does here. He strikes out 2, retires the Elks in order. We go to the bottom of the second in the first of this doubleheader on a gorgeous day in Corvallis. Bend 2, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Under the gorgeous 80-degree sunshine, we move to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Bend. The first pitch, breaking ball strike from left-hander Braden Wells to the Knights cleanup hitter J.C. Ing. Wells comes back and misses just outside. 1-1 to the left-hand hitting J.C. Ing. The southpaw Braden Wells delivers away. Ball 2, 2-1. Braden Wells, B-R-A-Y-D-E-N. The former Beaver outfielder Braden Wells, who is on the staff for Mitch Canham now, B-R-A-D-E-N. The 2-1 pitch from Braden with a Y. Misses down and in. Ball 3, 3-1. Wells retired the Knights in order last inning. He falls behind to J.C. 3 balls and a strike. J.C., the pride of Menlo School in Foster City in Northern California. The 3-1 pitch on the way from Braden, very high and inside. Ball 4. An utterance last night made 10 different times plus 5 hit batsmen. Ball 4. The first walk today. And Luke Teal, the batter. Rob Nelson's good friend, and you'll see the fruits of Nelson's friendship with Jim Bouton, and will receive, in fact, through the packs of Big League Chew and baseball cards distributed tonight in the second game of the doubleheader. The pitch to Teal hit foul down the right side and out of play. No balls and a strike to Luke. 2-0 Bend, bottom of the second.
Hey, Stock, Luke, come on now.
If you see the documentary, The Battered Bastards of Baseball, and we encourage you to do so if you haven't, it's about the Portland Maverick era. Baseball in the city of Portland. Rob Nelson and Jim Bouton, teammates with the Portland Mavericks, and invented the product that will be given away tonight in the second game of the Twin Bill, 6:35 start. Fastball for a strike to Teal. In the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Big league chew. An idea is the guys were Nelson and Bouton in a bullpen in Portland at Civic Stadium. Saw guys spitting tobacco and said how disgusting that was. Neither of them were chewers. The strike 2 pitch on the way, down and in, ball 1, 1-2. And they just came up with it. There's got to be something for the kids. We want them to have something else to maybe emulate. They came up with the shredded big league chew idea. Jim Bouton provided much of the venture capital in the ensuing years as Jim went on to, had made great money after ball 4, the best-selling book. The 1-2 pitch down and in, ball 2, 2-2. Ball 4 was as much a part of my baseball youth as baseball cards themselves and the chewing gum that came with those packs of cards. And I've had the honor and pleasure of visiting with both the late Jim Bouton and Rob Nelson, who makes his home in Portland, about the invention of the great product that has stood the test of time. Luke Teal pulls one foul in front of head coach Brooke Knight down the third base side. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luke, 2-0 Bend, bottom of the second inning. What a great American business and success story Big League Chew has been. And just know, if you ever buy it, chew it, see it, invented in a bullpen in Portland by Rob Nelson and Jim Bouton. The 2-2 pitch, good fastball from Braden Wells, swung on and missed by Teal, strike 3. Second strikeout for Braden, 1 away, and Levi Jones, the batter. Levi, the Oregon State-bound, versatile ball player, just a good baseball player, comes to the plate. Levi can play a number of positions. He's a guy that's committed to Oregon State, and we're really excited to see him in a Corvallis Knights uniform, as we've seen a number of the Beaver guys through the years come here first, Nick Madrigal included. Levi takes outside Nelson Keljo last summer out of Jesuit. A good lead at first for J.C. Ing, held on by Ethan Thomas. Wells delivers, and the 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back by Levi. 1 ball and 1 strike. He did Levi, to a National High School Baseball Invitational in late March, early April in Cary, North Carolina, along with some other highly decorated prospects, Noble Meyer, Ryan Cooney. Pretty good high school team. Broken bat, little comebacker, fielded by Braden Wells. The barrel of the bat sailing above the Elks dugout. Wells, not distracted by that, played the baseball and not part of the bat, and throws out Levi Jones at first, sawing off the left-hand hitting Jones for the second out of the inning. Good job by Wells on the play. J.C. Ing advances to second. Tyler Howard, the batter. Howard, the right-hand hitting catcher out of the University of Portland, Skyview High in Vancouver. Started 5 ball games on the Bluff this past spring. He takes high, ball 1, 1-0. 2-time Greater St. Helens League most valuable player, the right-hand hitting catcher Tyler Howard, trying to get the Knights on the board. 2-0 Bend, bottom of the second. J.C. Ing at second with 2 down. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Tyler takes a strike, and the count 1-1. John Tittman with the RBI time cry, and that's an official sign that summer has arrived. Good to see the longtime night season ticket holder in his perch, and to hear him as well. The 1-1 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. John, in fact, coming into the ballpark, was trying to instruct a couple of neophyte Knights fans in the ways of RBI time. John picking up the legacy of a fan whose name I can't remember, who used to call that out in Richie's Market Men games. The 1-2 pitch, a slap foul into the Jack Riley concourse down the right side near Casey Corner. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Bend. But it indeed is RBI time for the right-hand hitting Tyler Howard. An RBI, a stat that should be utterly valued. How it ever lost a sense of its value in the game, in the analytics era, I'm not sure. The pitch on the way to Howard hit foul down the right field side, giving chase a trio of Elks, Maloney, Thomas, and Terry. This one, though, lands in foul grounds. I should say Maloney, Terry, and Thomas to remind us of the gap-toothed comedian who was very good in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. J.C. Ing at second, 2-0 Bend in the bottom of the second inning. Tyler Howard looking for a stat that may have been overrated at once, but now underrated. An RBI. He swings and grounds one slowly to the left of Michael Ball. The third baseman up with it, throws across the diamond for out number 3. A leadoff walk, but Braden Wells pitches around it. And we are through 2 on this gorgeous Friday afternoon in Corvallis. Bend 2, the Knights nothing. On the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Bend. Bo Sylvester, Luca DiPaolo, and Ty Silva coming up for the Bend Elks, who scored 2 in the first. Brady Jones with control difficulties and left the game after 1 inning. Once again, I hope to have a better understanding of Brady's situation when we come back for Game 2 tonight. 6:20 for the pregame show, 6:35 first pitch for Game 2 on Big League Chew in Knights trading card night. Caleb Woltz, who retired the side in order with 2 strikeouts, goes to work on Sylvester, who struck out against Brady Jones in the first, and the breaking ball is outside, ball 1. Caleb from the stretch with nobody on delivers the fastball inside, 2-0 the count. Interesting to see pitchers working from the stretch, not in the stretch, wind up, no wind up. Trent Sellers told me that his last outing in the regional in Baton Rouge, where he retired 20 straight batters, he functioned out of a windup. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1 after working out of the stretch for virtually the entire season. Went to the windup in Baton Rouge, got a win, and retired 20 in a row. Woltz working from the stretch, behind the count, 2-1 to Sylvester. Good pitch, swung out and missed to even the count at 2-2. Luca DiPaolo on deck. And when Don Larson threw his perfect game October 8th of '56 in the World Series, Larson went to essentially a stretch position. He went away from a big, elaborate windup to a much tighter, shorter motion and threw a perfecto. Breaking ball grounded slowly to Luke Teal. The Knight shortstop charges, gloves, and fires to get Sylvester. 1 away, and Luca DiPaolo, who walked in the first inning, will be the hitter.
Now batting the catcher, number 35,
That still goes down, of course, as one of the great achievements in sports history and turned in by one of the more unlikely candidates in sports history to have that unique event, Don Larson. Larson was a good pitcher, never great, and just had one unbelievable day where it all came together. 97 pitches, 27 up, 27 down in a World Series game, no less. Luca DiPaolo swings and misses, 0-1 the count, but Don said it was a function of just shortening up his mechanics that day, October 8th, 1956. Caleb Waltz, strike one pitch, misses high. 1-1 to Luca DiPaolo. The Elks getting 2 runs in the first inning. DiPaolo drew one of the 4 walks in that first inning. Waltz back to the plate, breaking ball, swung on and missed. In the count to Luca, 1-2. Ty Silva on deck. Waltz has retired the first 4 batters that he's faced. Caleb peering in to Tyler Howard. The right-hander on in relief of starter Brady Jones. Comes back with a 1-2 fastball on the inside corner. Strike 3 called, 2 down. Waltz has retired 5 straight. Ty Silva, who had a sacrifice fly in the first inning, will be the batter for Bend. The Knights' defense has been a strong point this year, and last night we talked about how that has been maybe the most salient part of the Knights' game thus far this year in terms of what has allowed them to get out and lead the South Division of the West Coast League in their quest for a 7th straight title. Silva takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. On the major league level, as we get well into the season, defense, when you talk about things that are underrated, that is often one of the more underrated aspects of the entire game. The 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. The St. Louis Cardinals have declined terribly into one of the worst defenses in the National League, explaining how and why they have the worst record in the National League. After a 90 wins the last couple of years, now last in defensive efficiency in the National League, and hence the worst record in the league. The pitch missing high and inside, 2-1 the count, 2 down, nobody on. Waltz delivers a ground ball off the mound, deflected to Maddox Maloney, deflected to Tai Yukimoto, who tried to make a barehand stab, couldn't come up with a clean handle. Would have been interesting had Yukimoto been able to come up with a clean handle to see if he might have been able to get Silva, but as it is, it's an infield single back up the middle, off the mound, and maybe even off the person of Caleb Waltz, and that's what Brooke Knight takes a few steps out in front of the Knights dugout, was going to wander out and see if Waltz was okay. I'm not sure if the ball hit Caleb or whether it just sort of deflected off the rubber and the mound, or maybe a combination of both the foot and the top of the mound, deflecting the ball towards Yukimoto. But whatever the case, it's an infield single. Waltz presses on and delivers to Ethan Thomas. Swung on and missed in the count, 0-1. Ethan drew a walk in the first. 2-0 Bend, top of the third. On the flip side, Arizona's rise in the National League to lead the National League West, much of it predicated on an improved defense. Breaking ball from Waltz is high. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And so to be strong up the middle defensively, and the Knights are that, gives them a very good chance to keep winning. There goes a runner. The pitch is swung on and hit foul back over my head and out of play. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ethan Thomas. The first action of the day into Urchin Alley. And the heat has perhaps kept the kids a little bit quiet. Here comes an urchin from out of nowhere to gather the baseball up. So the first souvenir of the day claimed in Urchin Alley. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Breaking ball, a high pop-up on the right side in foul territory. First baseman Ethan Hedges calling and makes the catch in front of the Elks dugout to retire the side. No runs, an infield single, 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. Bend 2, the Knights nothing on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. 0-2-0-2 comes to the plate. One Ethan Hott, bottom of the third, 2-0 Bend. Ethan Hott, Ty Yukamoto, and Tyler Quinn against left-hander Braden Wells. In the first pitch to Ethan, a strike. 0-1 the count. 5 plate appearances last night, 3 walks, hit twice, scored 2 runs, and had 2 RBIs. I've never seen an 0-2-0-2 line before. Fastball just missed to Ethan, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Looking at box scores through the years, as we all have, as well as collecting baseball cards and reading Ball 4. Looking at box scores, time-honored tradition. Hott swings and fouls one towards Urchin Alley in the count 1-2. And, you know, many people involved in fantasy leagues and so on, home run leagues, oftentimes back in the day, home run leagues, you'd see 4-1, 1-1 and think, hey, my guy must have hit a solo. The 1-2 pitch on the way, down and away, ball 2, 2-2 to Hott. So you study lines, and Adley, for example, last night was 5-1, 3-1. There's a pretty good chance one of those could have been a home run, the 5-1, 3-1, or whatever. You feel good about when you look for the details. The 2-2 pitch to Hott, high and away, ball 3. Is he destined to have an at-bat in this series? Well, we'll see. 0-2-0-2. Such a line has never been seen in my life looking at a box score. So that's why you come to the ballpark, see something new every day. The 3-2 pitch, he has an at-bat now, and he has a base hit to left field. Jake Hoskins ranging to his right, not able to pull the ball in. Ty Silva does get the ball back in. And on a 3-2 pitch, Ethan Hott has officially checked in with an at-bat with the Corvallis Knights. In his first game last night, Ethan going over with us in the pregame conversation the decision. He said it was a difficult one because right now his brothers from Stanford are at Schwab Field in Omaha for the College World Series. Ty Yukamoto, the batter, first ball swinging, rolls 1 foul in front of the Bend Elks dugout. 0-1 the count, 2-0 Bend in the bottom of the third. A leadoff single, the Knights' first hit of the day. For Ethan Hott, whose Stanford teammates indeed in Omaha. He had the choice to go back with the club. He wouldn't have been able to dress or sit in the dugout. The strike 1 pitch, Yukamoto bunts in the air, back of the plate, and a poor read by Luca DiPaolo, and he's not able to catch the ball. Popped behind him. He took a step and a half forward toward the field of play, then tried to reverse pivot, had to negotiate the home plate umpire, and was not able to get back and make the catch on the bunt popped in the air. Yukamoto now down in the count 0-2. Ty was trying to bunt for a hit. Ethan Hott held on at first by Ethan Thomas. 2-0 Bend, bottom of the third. The strike 2 fastball very high. 1-2 the count. Leadoff hitter Tyler Quinn on deck. But Hott champing at the bit to play again. Knew that Stanford could, if they don't go 2-Q, in for perhaps a couple of weeks in Omaha in a bid to claim their 3rd national championship and catch the Beavers in that category. The 1-2 pitch is slapped down the left field line. Ty Silva moving over, dives, and doesn't get it. It's a fair ball. And now Silva gets back up, retrieves in foul territory, and gets the ball back in. Yukamoto with an opposite field slap single. Ethan Hott stops at second. Ethan had to make sure that the ball got down safely. Silva diving. And Joey Wong is asking out of the Bend Elks dugout, was that indeed a fair ball? And the home plate umpire confirms that it is, and there's no recourse to video. Speaking of Omaha, something the Beavers should have had taken advantage of in 2017, but we've all forgotten about that, right? Now, Tyler Quinn, the batter. Tyler grounded to short in the first. And a pitch clock violation is called against Braden Wells. And Joey Wong says, wait a minute now, wait a minute. Joey doesn't like this at all. He throws his hands in the air and he says, look, you had at the end of a play, you've got controversy, whether fair or foul. Joey says, I'm talking to the umpire. The umpire's talking to me. You have runners at first and second. And the pitch clock in Joey's mind got started way too early. And Joey has been muttering today more than I've seen the affable baseball man, great baseball player, more than I've ever seen him mutter before. And I saw Joey play 175 games as a Beaver and be part of a national championship team in 2007. But muttering Joey back into the dugout, losing the argument. 1-0 to Tyler Quinn with a pitch clock violation. And now Brooke Knight asks for time to talk to Tyler or to the base umpire about something. He said, well, is that a warning given? There's not a ball up on the screen. A pitch clock violation was called, so I assume the count's 1 ball and no strikes. But Brooke Knight is now talking to the base umpire for some reason. And I think Tyler Quinn is conferring, is it 1-0? Is it 0-0? What's the count? I've got it at 1-0. I mean, what's the point of pointing to your watch? Is that a warning? I don't know. The modern game, it's not something Jim Maloney and Bob Beal had to deal with. So is the count 0-0? I don't know. The pitch on the way, a bunt up along third. Michael Ball, bare hands, and will save the throw. A bunt single for Tyler Quinn. That I do know. You know, most things I don't. That's a beautifully placed bunt single by Tyler Quinn to load the bases. Did, perhaps the base umpire and home plate umpire waved off the pitch clock violation based on the Joey Wong argumentation. Whatever the case, Tyler Quinn lays down a beautiful bunt single to load the bases with nobody out for Sam Stem. The Knights trailing 2-0, but a chance to change that here. Braden Wells to the plate. Sam takes high, ball 1. 1-0. Sam struck out in the first. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Ethan Hott, a.k.a. 0-2-0-2 at third. Ty Yukamoto at second. Tyler Quinn at first. Nobody out. Wells from the stretch. The infield back. Fastball. Good one. Sam swings a little bit late on the high heat and doesn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike to Stem. Ethan Hedges on deck. The Knights with a good opportunity here to at least get 1 on the board. Ben leading 2-0. The Elks 2 runs in the first. The 1-1 pitch to Stem. Misses a little bit low. Ball 2, 2-1. The operative phrase, a little bit. 2 balls and a strike. Braden Wells sailed through the first couple of innings, in trouble here in the third. Sacks full, nobody out. The lefty ready, comes to the plate. Slap down the left field line. That'll drop for a base hit. Ethan Hott scores. Ty Yukamoto will too, right behind Ethan. A slap single to left, a 2-run base hit for Stem. The Knights pull even at 2. On the play, Tyler Quinn stops at second. A 2-run single for Sam Stem. That'll bring Ethan Hedges to the plate. But before Ethan steps in against Braden Wells, pitching coach Danny Sales out to the mound for a conversation with Braden. Danny Sales, the pitching coach for the Bend Elks. He's the current head coach at South Eugene High School, Jerry Jesvold country. He's also been a coach for the Medford Rogues. And Danny with a quick conversation with left-hander Braden Wells. The Knights have pulled even at 2 here in the bottom of the third. Have 2 on and nobody out for Ethan Hedges, who grounded to second in his first at-bat. All I'm saying is this. You can look long and hard through Major League Baseball box scores and box scores at any level for the rest of the year of our Lord 2023, and I defy you to see an 0-2-0-2. Ethan Hedges at the plate. He tries to bunt and bunts foul. 0-1 the count. We went through the Ethan Hedges bunt history at USC in last night's ball game. Ethan had a very good year for Andy Stankiewicz at USC and had exactly 0 sacrifice hits. But in this 2-2 tie, and though he's batting in the 3 hole, it appeared Brooke was asking Ethan to bunt in this situation. No balls and a strike. Ethan ended up not bunting last night either, at least getting 1 down. We'll see if he's asked to here. 0-1. He's not. He takes a high strike. Not an oxymoron on my part, but simply an indication of the pitch being called a high strike. Up in the zone. Mike Blowers saying everything low in the zone, down in the zone, up in the zone. Thank you, Mike Blowers, whom they call Blow, even though his name's pronounced Blowers. The strike two pitch swung on and fouled back. TJ Mathewson, part of our crew today. I've always explained that to me. It's not Blow on baseball, even though his name's Blowers, it's Blow. It makes more sense to see the abbreviated version of the great Mike Blowers. He who helped grand slam the Mariners into the playoffs in '95. No balls and 2 strikes, Ethan Hedges, but a pitch to Ethan up in the zone. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way, down and in, and somebody missed a sign because trapped between second and third is Tyler Quinn. Safely in at second is Sam Stem. The throw back to second. The Knights have 2 runners occupying second base, so one of them is out. And getting safely into second base was Sam Stem. So he will see who is the odd man out here. Somebody missed a hit and run sign. And so Tyler Quinn stays at second base. The base occupied, not like the Brooklyn Bums once had, 3 players occupying the same base. Back in the Uncle Wilbert Robertson days, I think Babe Herman was one of them. Brooke Knight pulls out his note card to make a notation to talk about a sign being missed. But the odd man out in this case is Sam Stem, who may have missed the sign. A ground ball wide of third, fielded by Michael Ball. Nice play, the throw to first in time, and then Tyler Quinn goes to third. There are 2 outs. Good hustle by Tyler, alert base running. Ethan Hedges grounds out 5-3, 2 down. Sam Stem was convinced that a hit and run play was on. Tyler Quinn started, put the brakes on. Stem kept running. Ended up getting to second base. Tyler Quinn allowed to go back and occupy the base from which he left. Sam Stem out with 2 men at second. And now J.C. Ing, the batter, in a 2-2 tie. And so it could be an escape act of sorts for Braden Wells to get out of this with just a 2-2 tie rather than relinquishing and giving the lead to the hometown Corvallis Knights. That would be good work indeed if he gets out of it. He misses, delivers a strike on the first pitch to the left-hand hitting Ing, whom he walked. The strike 1 pitch is in there, and the count 0-2. Nice to see Steve in the ballpark making his way up the steps in front of the McGrath family press box. No balls and 2 strikes the count with 2 down. Bottom of the third, a 2-2 tie. Braden Wells from the stretch. The lefty very high with a breaking ball. 1-2 the count. Tyler Quinn at third in a 2-2 tie on this 81-degree day. A few clouds have moved in. It was just perfect. The low AQI, blue sky, not a hint of a cloud. We got a few wispy ones there now, but it's a perfect day for baseball. Fastball taken, strike 3 called by J.C. Ing to retire the side. The Knights do come back with 2 runs to tie, but kind of run themselves out of a possible chance to take the lead. They settle for 2 on 4 hits in the inning. No errors and 1 left. After 3, the Elks 2, the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights and Bend Elks locked in a 2-2 tie. Bend 2 runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The Knights 2 runs, 4 hits, and no errors. Had 4 hits in the bottom of the third, settled for the tie. Caleb Oltz, though back on even terms, ready to go. And his first pitch runs down and in, ball 1, 1-0 to Michael Ball out of Southridge High School. 1 ball and no strikes, a pretty good place to be from, including our own Darwin Barney. Out of the stretch works Caleb Oltz. The 1-0 pitch is away, ball 2. Darwin's keystone partner, Joey Wong, arms folded, coaching at third. Joey's been muttering more today than ever. But his team on a beautiful day in a 2-2 tie in the fourth. 2-0 to Michael Ball. Caleb Oltz from the stretch, the right-hander back to the plate. Popped back of the plate foul. Coming back is Tyler Howard as far as he can. This one lands into the first row of seats where a fan didn't make any attempt on it. He won't be penalized for it, for making no attempt. The ball ends up going to a youngster, but the gentleman let the ball bounce about 2 feet to his left. Had no idea that the ball was coming down towards his sconce. But all is well. The youngster has a souvenir. 2 balls and a strike, and the fan carries on a row back behind the on-deck area of the Bend Elks. A 2-1 pitch punched up the middle. Luke Teal to his left, throws to first. And the ball in and out of the mid of Ethan Hedges. A base hit from Michael Ball. Good play by Teal up the middle. Just to get to the ball, sliding into it on the turf, came up, threw a little bit off target, hurrying the throw, and Ethan Hedges not able to make the dig. It is a base hit for Ball. Maddox Maloney, the batter, Maddox struck out swinging in the first. Maddox is bound for the program down the road known as the University of Oregon, out of Thurston High School. A throw to first base, and back to the bag steps Michael Ball. Coach Wazakowski doing an excellent job with that program, bringing in some big-time talent, including Maloney. Oregon was knocked out, as is well known by everybody in the Beaver State, by Oral Roberts. Fastball just inside after Oregon had rallied from down 8-0 to win in a walk-off to take game 1 of the Super Regional at PK Park. ORU came back and won the next 2, and Oral Roberts is at it again today in Omaha. We'll explain that in a moment. The pitch missing to Maloney in the count 1-0. Back to the plate comes Caleb Oltz, and he misses. Ball 2, 2-0. A 2-2 tie in the top of the fourth inning. Michael Ball, an infield single to open the fourth. Now 2-0 to Maloney. Caleb out of the stretch. The San Francisco Don comes set. Maloney awaits the 2-0 pitch, a long hold, and now the pitch misses for ball 3. 3-0 to Maddox. Oral Roberts, indeed, a Cinderella story. Number 4 seed, down 5-2 against Texas Christian University at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha, going to the top of the 9th inning. Down 5-2, scored 4 runs, and they lead it going to the bottom of the 9th. The 3-0 pitch missing. Casey and Andrew in our live stream crew today will keep me posted on the results, but Oral Roberts, breaking the hearts of Oregon fans in Eugene, have a chance to do the same for the fan base of the Horned Frogs and TCU if they're able to hold on. After rallying from down 5-2 in the 9th to take the lead, a 3-run homer, giving them the lead 6-5, now trying to close it out in the College World Series in Game 1 against Texas Christian. We'll keep you posted. Maddox Maloney taking low and inside for ball 4. Michael Ball to second, Maloney to first. Jake Hoskins the batter. A 2-2 tie. Hoskins may be up there to bunt. He's not. He takes outside ball 1. Joey Wong eschewing small ball, at least on the first pitch. Joey himself an outstanding bunter in his days with the Bees. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Michael Ball at second, Maddox Maloney at first. Ben trying to regain the lead, 1-0 to Jake Hoskins. Woltz delivers very high again, ball 2, with the difficult beginning to the fourth. Brooke Knight and Bo Kearns have dispatched a pitcher down to their bullpen. Chance Wallace heading down to the pen to begin to loosen up back of Wolves. And time is called. Pitching coach Bo Kearns out to the hill to visit with Caleb. Caleb giving up the infield single, then walking Maloney behind the count to Hoskins. 2 balls and no strikes with Brayton Terry on deck. I mentioned David Wong being in the ballpark, Joey's papa. David still coaching, giving private lessons and instruction in all aspects of baseball to a lot of youngsters up in the Salem area. Joey Wong, part of the national championship team in 2007. In 2008, the national championship was won by Fresno State, and Fresno State was a 4 seed in Omaha in 08. The 2-0 pitch, a little low, ball 3, 3-0. And Oral Roberts trying to take a page out of Fresno State's playbook. And I'm just saying, I'm pulling for them. I hope that they make that lead stand up. And I know they made a lot of friends around here by doing what they did in Eugene. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, and the count 3-1. I know that cuts against the heart of a lot of folks who are fans of both programs and root for the Pac-12. And all I know is that for Beaver Nation, that result down there heartened a lot of the Beaver fans after the disappointment of being ousted in Baton Rouge. The 3-1 pitch misses high and away for ball 4 to load the bases. How you doing, Scotty? I've only got one. You know, if I had 2, I'd put you on, but they don't. We're in a new era. Scott Schuler from Cricket Country 99.9 FM, whose daughter Anthem was part of a on-the-field promotion earlier. Scott,
4 kids out there.
Oh, you had 4 kids? So those were all 4 of yours participating. Time call. Brook Knight's going to make a pitching change. In our new era here, we're no longer originating the broadcast on 1240 Joe Radio carrying it, but I no longer have control, and we're going to get a second headset at some point, but we don't have one now. Maybe by next week we'll have 2 headsets, maybe even by tomorrow to work with, but I can't put any guests on in the meantime. But I'm glad you're here, big man. Good to see you. Scott Schuler here, his family out on the field earlier today, enjoying this doubleheader that will feature Game 2 tonight at 6:35. We're going to see a pitching change here now with Brook Knight making a move to the bullpen. Caleb Woltz with a couple of good innings, but here in the 4th, an infield single followed by back-to-back walks. So a big man is coming in. We got to find out just who this big drink of water is. I'm not exactly sure. I suppose I could just by process of elimination tell you it must be Jonathan Stone because he's a 6'7" guy on the roster. And so just by process of elimination without seeing a number, I can only assume that it is Jonathan Stone out of George Fox and Roseburg High School coming in. And it is a 90-second pitching change break, a 2-2 tie in the 4th, back in 90 on the night's live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Right-hander Jonathan Stone in the ballgame for the Corvallis Knights, inheriting a tough situation. Bases loaded, nobody out, a 2-2 tie, ready to go to Braden Terry. And the first pitch from Big Jonathan is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Jonathan Stone, 6'7" right-hander, out of Roseburg High School, and George Fox, an engineering student. His older brother also attended Fox. The right-hander kicks and comes back with the 0-1 breaking ball, swung on and missed, and he's quickly ahead to Braden Terry, 0-2. The bases are loaded, nobody out in the fourth. Terry singled to right field in the first, popped to short in the second. We're in the fourth. The Knights infield at double play depth. 0-2 the count to the left-hand hitting Terry. Big Jonathan Stone, all 6-7 of them to the plate. Breaking ball just missed. Brooke Knight takes a step out in front of the Knights dugout as if to say, where did that miss? A good sharp break from Stone. That's a pitch almost on principle a hitter needs to be rung up on. To take that pitch that close, ring him up. But no call. 1-2 the count to Braden Terry. Stone will try again with the bases loaded. Delivers, slap foul above Joey Wong's head. The count remains 1-2 strikes. Stone making his third appearance with the Knights, 2 2/3, a hit and a strikeout. His debut here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Jonathan Stone, the third pitcher of the afternoon in the first game of this doubleheader. Second game tonight, 6:35. We'll be back with you at 6:20 on the Knights live stream. 1-2 strikes to Braden Terry. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 1-2 pitch, a ground ball to short, fielded by Teal. Steps on second, throws to first, double play. On the play, Michael Ball scores, but that's an exchange the Knights gladly take. A 6-3 double play ball, no RBI for Braden Terry, and Brennan Davis will come to the plate. The Knights do get, the Elks get the lead back at 3-2. But a good job by Jonathan Stone, inducing soft contact, and Teal at double play depth, able to take care of it on his own for the 6-3 twin killing. Brennan Davis walked and scored in the first, struck out in the second. Takes a breaking ball low, ball one, 1-0. On the play, Maddox Maloney advancing to third. Stone rocks, kicks, and Jonathan to the plate. Fastball hit foul to the right. Looking up into a increasingly cloudier sky, but still mostly sunny, beautiful, partly cloudy. The ball lands in Urchin Alley, and the Urchins give chase. 1-1 strike the count. Jonathan back to the plate. Breaking ball fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2. 3-2 Elks in the fourth. But Jonathan Stone trying to deliver a tremendous performance in the clutch. Inheriting bases loaded, nobody out, a strike away from getting out of it with just one run in. Maloney at third, 2 down. Stone back to the plate, fastball away, ball 2, 2-2. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth. I think the ancient writer said about 3,000 years ago, the 2-2 breaking ball in the turf, and the count goes to 3-2. Whoever wrote that, I'm sure was on the right track. But that's a hard one for people to follow when it comes to these skirmishes known formerly as the Civil War. And so there were a lot of people happy about Oral Roberts and what they did. The 3-2 breaking ball nicks Brennan Davis on the way by. So after jumping ahead with a chance to get out of the inning, Stone still has work to do. Went from 1-2 to hitting Brennan Davis on a 3-2 pitch. Bo Sylvester, the batter. Bo has struck out and grounded to short. 3-2 bend in the top of the fourth inning. And the Elks, who had the bases loaded and nobody out, have just a 1-run lead to show for that at the moment. But a very good hitter in Bo Sylvester at the plate. Big Jonathan Stone, the pride of Roseburg. Comes set, delivers, fastball away, ball 1, 1-0. Jonathan coming in and inducing a double play ball on which the go-ahead run scored. Now steps off the rubber and wants his battery mate Tyler Howard to go through the sequence of signals again. Jonathan comes set with runners at first and third and 2 down. The 1-0 pitch to Sylvester. Fastball swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. TCU in the process of rallying on their own part in the bottom of the ninth, and you guys, you can feel free to interject if we've come to a conclusion, if you know what's happening. Feel free, Casey, to pop the mic open and share with us what you know. The 1-1 pitch lifted foul off third. I'll give you that opportunity now. Who's this?
This is Casey. Yeah.
Casey, what do you got?
Yeah, so Oral Roberts won 6-5. TCU runners on first and second, but was unable to get them in. So Oral Roberts is the winner of this game.
Thank you very much. So Oral Roberts rallies for 4 and holds on to beat TCU 6-5. That's a tremendous result. There's a lot of Oral Roberts fans in Corvallis. I'll leave it at that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Stone delivers, breaking ball swung on and missed, Mickey Owen style. The ball gets away from Tyler Howard, but he throws in foul territory to Ethan Hedges at first for the out, and the inning is over. Nice job by Jonathan Stone, but that ball bouncing off the mid, a la Mickey Owen in 41. You remember that? That was a long run for Tyler Howard. He had a long way to go, but was able to get to the ball and get the out at first and keep Ben's lead at a run on a hit. No errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th where the cowbells are ringing at Goss. Ben 3 and the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. The bottom of the 4th inning, the Bend Elks getting the lead back at 3-2. And the Knights will try to hit the comeback trail again. They erased a 2-0 deficit and are now behind 3-2. Luke Teal, Levi Jones, and Tyler Howard, the scheduled hitters. And the Bend Elks have made a pitching change after a pretty good outing, all things considered, for Braden Well. And it looks as though the Knights themselves, here in the bottom of the 4th inning, will have a change of some sort in the offing. The first pitch to Kellen Siegel, hitting for Luke Teal, misses low for ball 1, 1-0, trying to get a read on the number of the Bend Elks pitcher. Their numbers are hard to discern. The 1-0 pitch missing for ball 2 to Kellen. Kellen, the younger brother of Caden, who helped the Knights the last 2 summers win championships. Kellen Siegel out of Grant takes the 2-0 pitch away, ball 3, 3-0. Kellen getting an opportunity to pinch hit for Luke Teal with the Knights trailing 3-2. The 3-0 pitch is just outside, so a nice job by Kellen Siegel. getting a 4-pitch walk. Those binoculars that mysteriously disappeared. I had to bring in another set. I'm trying to get a read on the back of the number. That is the one disadvantage, although I'd much rather have that disadvantage and be outside on a beautiful day. 82 degrees, the Knights trailing 3-2, but a leadoff walk issued by the new pitcher for the Bend Elks, a right-hander picking up for Braden Wells, and I'm trying to get a read on the back of his number. The first pitch on the back of his jersey swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike the count. Siegel held on at first by Ethan Thomas. Levi Jones at the plate. The strike 1 pitch hit foul off third. Racing over is Michael Ball to backhand it just beyond Brooke Knight. And let's see, what is that, 33? Yeah, he turned his back. Thank you very much, new pitcher. I'm not going to go Johnny Most and say the tall guy, the guy with the beard, the guy with the long hair. But the guy with 33 on his back for the Bend Elks is in. And that would be Jackson Elder. Jackson, I also believe, is University of Utah bound out of Lane Community College. Elder's first pitch missing to Tyler Howard. 1 ball and no strikes. Kellen Siegel, the tying run at first. The 1-0 pitch missing down and away to Howard. Tyler grounded to third in his first at-bat. A few more clouds moving in after just the picture-perfect clear blue skies earlier in the day. The 1-0 fastball outside. The 2-0 pitch, I should say, to Howard, and the count goes to 3-0. Jackson Elder picking up for Braden Wells here in the bottom of the 4th. The Bend Elks leading by a score of 3-2. His 3-0 pitch is a strike, and the count 3-1. Jackson Elder making his 3rd appearance with the Elks. 4 1/3 innings heretofore. 7 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. 7 walks and 3 strikeouts. The 3-1 pitch with a runner going is low and inside for ball 4. So walks indeed a problem for Jackson Elder. He's issued 2 in the inning, and his numbers indicate that that has been problematic. So 2 more here. Ethan Hott, the batter, getting his first official at-bat with a base hit last inning and scored a run. At the plate now with 2 on and 1 out, the Knights trailing 3-2. Elder to the plate. In a future Pac-12 matchup, Hott takes outside ball 1, 1-0. Jackson is indeed a commit to Gary Henderson and the Utah Utes program out of Lane Community College. The 1-0 pitch a little bit high, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. So congratulations to Jackson Elder out of Central Catholic in Portland, trying to find the strike zone. He's walked 2 in the inning. He's behind 2-0, and now 3-0 with a fastball missing to Ethan Hott. 3 balls and no strikes. Catcher Luca DiPaolo asked for time as we feel the breeze is picking up just a little bit. It feels good, actually, but while we welcome the breeze, that bright and beautiful blue was just absolutely magnificent earlier. That type of perfection, it doesn't last that long in the overall scheme of things, right? I mean, it was as perfect of a day a couple of hours ago as I've seen in the year of 2023. Now it's nice, but the few clouds, it's just not quite as scintillating, but still great to be out of the ballpark. 3-0 to Hott. Jackson Elder is a pitch away from loading him up via free passes. His 3-0 pitch is a strike to Ethan. 3-1 the count. Elder also played football at the outstanding football school in Central, and now on his way from Lane in Eugene to play for Gary Henderson, who went to high school himself down at Sheldon High School in Eugene. Played for Tom Bowen at Sheldon High. The pitch hit foul off to the right and out of play. Gary in the ballpark today watching some of his current and future players. The runners go, and the 3-2 pitch is outside to load him up. The bases are loaded. Kellen Siegel, the tying run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the fourth. 3 walks in the inning. Tai Yukamoto, the batter. Tai singled to left field last inning. Ben forging the lead with a run in the top of the inning. Now the Knights trying to come right back. Yukamoto takes a belt-high strike. 0-1 the count. The Elks infield at double play depth. Jackson Elder and Luca DiPaolo the battery for the Elks. Jackson works out of the stretch. 0-1 to Tai Yukamoto. The 0-1 breaking ball in there. Good pitch in the count. 0-2. Ethan Thomas at first, Maddox Maloney at second, Jake Hoskins at short, Michael Ball at third, Ty Silva in left, Brennan Davis in center, Braden Terry in right. 3-2 Bend, bottom of the fourth inning. The Knights with the bases loaded and 1 out. The strike 2 pitch to Yukamoto, and he fights it off, fouls it straight back. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Game 2 tonight, 6:35, back on the air on the Knights live stream at 6:20. No balls and 2 strikes to Tai Yukamoto with the sacks full. Kellen Siegel at third, Tyler Howard at second, Ethan Hott at first. Yukamoto fouls one off his front foot and then falls in a heap in the left side of the box. And will be given a little bit of time by the home plate umpire, putting a new baseball into play and giving Yukamoto, Ty, a chance to walk some of that pain off. Yukamoto shaking that right foot a little bit, trying to shake the pain away. And we'll step back in with a count of no balls and 2 strikes and 1 out. The Knights trailing 3-2, but have the bases loaded and 1 out. Ty carries on. Tyler Quinn on deck. Jackson Elder with head coach Gary Henderson in the stands watching his future pitcher. Comes set, comes to the plate. Yukamoto, a 1-hopper to the first baseman. Ethan Thomas goes to the plate for 1 and into first. The ball dropped by Thomas and no double play. The Knights have runners at second and third and 2 down. Joey Wong might argue that the runner heading down the line at first and Yukamoto was not in the designated lane, and thus a chance to turn a 3-2-3 double play was averted with the ball dropped by the first baseman Ethan Thomas. A good play by Ethan to come to the plate and get the force play on Kellen Siegel. And now the batter is Tyler Quinn with the bases loaded and 2 down. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. 3-2, Bend in front. Yukamoto hit the ball hard, but that was part of the problem. Ethan Thomas, playing even with the bag, was able to make a quick throw to the plate. Now the strike 1 fastball to Tyler Quinn is in there for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Tyler Howard at third, Ethan Hott at second, Ty Yukamoto at first with 2 away. 0-2 to Tyler Quinn, who was grounded to short and had a bunt single. Elder trying to keep the lead intact, does. Fastball swung on and missed. The Knights squander a big opportunity here in the fourth. And at the end of 4 innings of play, Ben 3, the Knights 2 on 1240 Joe Radio and the Corvallis Knights live stream. Top of the fifth inning, 3-2 Bend. The Knights have squandered a couple of opportunities. Yes, they pulled even in the third, but had a chance to do more damage and then leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the fourth. Bases loaded and one out and come up empty. Good work by Jackson Elder. And now Knights right-hander Jonathan Stone to Luca DiPaolo, misses high and inside, and now comes back with a 1-0 pitch. High for ball two. Luca DiPaolo, Ty Silva, and Ethan Thomas with Journey's classic song, Don't Stop Believing, being played between innings. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 2-1. If you were listening to the coverage, the Beavers and LSU in Baton Rouge, when the Beavers came needing to beat LSU twice on the bus ride over, the 2-1 pitch is high to Luca, ball three. The guys wanted to sing, Don't Stop Believing, kind of get themselves fired up, but he's kind of pulled into the parking lot outside of Alec Box Stadium, and the song ended and never got to the Don't Stop Believing part. It takes too long. The 3-1 pitch from Jonathan Stone, fastball swung on and missed. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the song. I love the sentiment. It's a beautiful song, idea, and sentiment. But people in ballparks, between innings, 90 seconds isn't enough to get to the guts of Don't Stop Believing. Now, the 3-2 pitch from Stone rolled up along third, foul, and the count remains 3-2. There's got to be some sort of ballpark version of it, a little bit like Randy Newman's I Love L.A., which they leave off that opening stuff about Chicago and Eskimos in New York and how cold it is. Then they get to, I Love L.A. I mean, you need to start the Don't Stop Believing part a little bit earlier to get to the chorus. The 3-2 pitch to DiPaolo hit foul off first, and that gives us a chance to look up and see even more clouds moving in, from clear blue to still mostly sunny. But quite a few more clouds with each passing inning here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 3-2 Bend, top of the fifth. Jonathan Stone to the plate, got him swinging. Don't exactly know what Stone has in his repertoire yet, but that either a hard slider or a bit of a cutter. I mean, it had good late break and a tight break to get DiPaolo for a lead-off strikeout in the fifth. And Ty Silva, the batter, Ty with a sacrifice fly in the first and a single back up the middle off Caleb Woltz in the third. We're in the fifth, 3-2 Bend. And the first pitch from Jonathan to the backstop. 1 ball and no strikes. Tonight, with the last final in the books at Oregon State as the day goes along, the 1-0 pitch punched in the air. Shortstop Luke Teal behind the bag moves to his left to make the catch. 2 down, and Ethan Thomas the batter. The Beavers being a quarter school, the players not eligible to begin their summer participation until the last final on campus given. And I'm not sure when that hour exactly is, but that means that tonight, Sam Sturr, Jacob Craig will be eligible to play. Stone delivers a first pitch fastball, which Ethan Thomas holds up. Hopefully, the home plate umpire didn't like it. He should have. 1-0 to Ethan. Fastball, that one to me was more outside than a strike, but we're even Steven. Seinfeld appreciates on the corner for a strike. The count 1-1, 2 down, nobody on, 3-2. Bend in the fifth. Stone back to the plate, and the 1-1 pitch behind Ethan Thomas. Breaking ball missing to the big fella. 2 balls and a strike. 3-2 Elks, top of the fifth inning, in the first of a doubleheader, split gate twin bill. 6:35 for game 2 tonight. The pitch to Thomas, whacked to left, going back. Levi Jones reaches up to make the catch. And up against the fence, out in dead left field. Good catch by Levi, and a nice read on it to retire the side. And at the end of 4.5 after a 1-2-3 inning, it remains Bend 3, the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the fifth inning, 3-2 Bend. It was Kellen Siegel out in left field who made that fine catch up against the fence to end the top of the inning. Kellen pinch hitting for Luke Teal. Tyler Quinn moved to shortstop. Levi Jones came from left field to third base. But it's the Knights at the plate now with Sam Stem taking the first pitch a little low and inside. The right-hander Jackson Elder back to the plate. Stem a ground ball to the left of Maddox Maloney. The second baseman into it and throws to first to get Stem. One away in the bottom of the fifth. Ethan Hedges, who's grounded to second and grounded to third, will be the batter. 3-2 Elks in the bottom of the fifth inning. Elder trying to command the strike zone. He got away with missing badly last inning. Walking the bases loaded, but getting some defensive help and some fine work on his own part to put up a 0 anyway. Starts Ethan with a strike. The 0-1 pitch, a check swing in the turf, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike, no swing on a day that continues to grow and increasingly cloudy. Still a warm, gorgeous day, but the clear blue gone. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Hedges. Fastball in there for a strike. Ethan is 0 for 2 on the day. The right-hand hitting first baseman out of USC. Jackson Elder led the NWAC in walks, pitching for Lane Community College this past spring. Fastball dropped by Luca DiPaolo and missing a bit outside. Ball 2-2. But good stuff for Jackson, and Gary Henderson, an outstanding pitching coach and head coach of Utah, will certainly work with Jackson to help him become a little bit more comfortable with his stuff. Good breaking ball. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 down. A strange end to the play. Luca DiPaolo caught the strike cleanly, evidently. Brooke Knight turns and walks away shaking his head. DiPaolo was coming up out of the crouch to make a throw to first. Was told by the umpire, no, that's clean, he's out. And so DiPaolo just kind of rolled the ball back towards the mound as if he thought it was the third out. Just kind of a strange end to the strikeout of Ethan Hedges. 2 down, J.C. Ing, who's walked and struck out, takes outside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch from Jackson Elder, low and inside, ball 2. 2-0 to Ing. 3-2 Bend, bottom of the fifth inning, 2 down and nobody on. Elder comes back to the plate with a 2-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 2-1 the count. Jackson ready, and the right-hander back to the plate. A line drive at the shortstop, Jake Hoskins. And Jackson Elder retires the Knights in order in the fifth. We go to the sixth and the first of this twin bill. Bend 3, the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Top of the 6th inning, 3-2 Bend. Michael Ball against Jonathan Stone. The first pitch from Jonathan misses outside, ball 1. Ball led off the 4th with an infield single, ended up scoring the go-ahead run. 3-2 in the 6th. Stone's 1-0 pitch, low, ball 2. Scotty Schuler and family leaving. Anthem, Braddock, Loxley, and Sonny all competed in a contest earlier today. The 2-0 pitch swung on and fouled back. I asked Angie, Scott's wife, about the beautiful, now aren't those gorgeous names? Anthem, Braddock, Sonny, and Loxley. But Loxley not named for Loxley Hall. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed in the count 2-2. But when I hear the name Loxley, I think of Loxley Hall, as I'm sure many do. I have half of my family over in Europe right now. The 2-2 pitch on the way, outside, ball 3. 3-2. 3-2. Bend in front in the top of the 6th inning. Jonathan Stone heaves a deep side. The 6'7" right-hander from Roseburg comes back. 3-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3. The north and the south of the state of Oregon going at it with Michael Ball striking out. Michael playing his college baseball now at Nevada. Went to Southridge and Beaverton, Everett Community College. Has been a good player for the Wolfpack. The first pitch to Maddox Maloney out of Thurston in Springfield is hit foul into Urchin Alley off to the right. No balls and a strike. And the bright sunshine no longer prevailing here, much more of a cloud cover, and that's been the case with each passing inning as we've gone along today. The strike 1 pitch and a good one ties up Maloney. Swings and doesn't get it in the count 0-2. Jake Hoskins on deck. 3-2 Bend in the 6th. The Elks trying to get this series even. Stone ready. The strike 2 pitch. Hit foul to my right. This will carry into Urchin Alley. And one of the closest foul balls here early in the summer of 2023. We're usually good for 1 or 2 in this spot. The strike 2 pitch swung on and hit foul again into the alley. This one might go off the facade of Dixon Rec, and it does. There's about 8 or 9 youngsters giving chase on that one now. Shades of Finding Nemo in terms of the claim of whose ball it is. The strike 2 pitch from Stone. Fastball swung on and missed. Back-to-back punch-outs for Jonathan. 2 down. Jonathan Stone has retired 6 straight. And Jake Hoskins will be the batter. Hoskins has struck out and walked. So the Knights defensively now, it's Stone and Tyler Howard, with Ethan Hedges at first, Ty Yukamoto at second, Tyler Quinn at short, Levi Jones at third, Kellen Siegel in left, J.C. Ing in center, and Sam Stam in right. The pitch to Hoskins, swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. Jonathan Reddy comes back with a strike 1 fastball up, and the count 1-1. Jonathan, the third pitcher of the day for the Knights, comes back with a 1-1 breaking ball inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Our crew today, Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, and Thomas Rudolph. Brendan Brucker, I should say, working on some graduation stuff. But we are in good hands with Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, and Thomas Rudolph again today. The pitch missing, and the count goes to 3-1 to Hoskins. 3-2 Bend in the top of the 6th inning, and T.J. Mathewson back in our studios of 1240 Joe Radio. 3-1 pitch, a grounder to short. Tyler Quinn looks it in and throws across for the out, and that's back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Jonathan Stone. He's retired 7 straight. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Bend 3, the Knights 2 on the Knights live stream in 1240 Joe Radio. Kellen Siegel leading things off for the Knights in the bottom of the 6th. Takes the first pitch from Jackson Elder down and away. The 1-0 pitch to Kellen, a strike. Kellen's second plate appearance. He hit for Luke Teal in the 4th and drew a walk. Made a nice catch in left field earlier. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Bounces beyond Luca DiPaolo to the backstop. 2-1 the count. 3-2 Bend. Bottom of the 6th inning. Kellen Siegel, Levi Jones, and Tyler Howard against Jackson Elder. The 2-1 pitch down and away, ball 3. 3-1 to Kellen. Kellen will follow Caden's lead and go to Lynn Benton Community College out of Grant High in Portland. The 3-1 pitch in there for a strike. Kellen and Caden, of course, the sons of Knights CEO Dan Siegel. The proud papa watching Kellen at the plate here now. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball just missed for ball 4. Jackson Elder thought that he'd got a piece of the plate on the breaking ball 3-2, but Kellen Siegel, pulling a bit of an Ethan Hott, has been up twice and has walked twice. And for the second time, he represents the tying run to lead off the inning. Siegel was forced out on a good play by Ethan Thomas in the 4th. There goes Siegel. The pitch to Levi Jones, swung on and fouled back. 0-1 to Levi. Little hit and run action deployed by Brooke Knight at 3rd. Kellen had a good jump. Kellen retreats to 1st. No balls and a strike to Levi. Jones is 0 for 2. Studies Brooke Knight, steps back into the box. Jackson from the stretch. A throw to 1st, and Kellen back to the bag. Ed Nags keeping an eye on Kellen Siegel over at 1st. Warm and beautiful day, even with a little bit more cloud cover coming in. Another throw to 1st, and back to the bag steps Kellen Siegel. Dwight is checking on my hierarchy of needs. Maslow, thanks Abraham. We'll see here in a second. No balls and a strike. The pitch is in there. Strike 2 to Levi Jones. No balls and 2 strikes. Thank you, Dwight. Another throw to 1st and a close play. I thought I saw a spring. It may have gotten knocked in my pen falling apart here. It's okay. Thank you, Dwight. Yeah, just trying to take care of Maslow's first rung of needs. The strike 2 pitch fouled away towards the psychology of being, and that hot dog and ice would help. The pitch hit foul to the left. The count 0-2 to Levi Jones. Kellen Siegel, the runner at 1st, nobody out, bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Bend, 0-2 to Levi. Tyler Howard on deck. Out of the stretch works the right-hander Elder. The strike 2 pitch is a breaking ball in there. Strike 3 call. Good looking pitch. Gary Henderson's got a little something to work with next year in Elder, a transfer from Lane Community College. Although I look over at Gary and he's yawning as I look at him. I was a little more excited about that pitch than the head coach, Gary Henderson, evidently was. Gary's going to spend the entire day here, visit some old friends in Eugene. Tomorrow, then go over and see his father, who lives in Florence. Gary is a well-traveled and highly respected coach, former assistant to Pat Casey here in the early days of building the program in the Unified Conference. Tyler Howard takes high and inside, ball 1. But one thing that should always be remembered is that Gary was part of the big recruiting force to bring in players by the names of Dallas Buck, Jonah Nickerson, and Kevin Gunderson. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. So Beaver Nation in great debt to Gary, who moved on to become an assistant coach at Kentucky, then a head coach at Kentucky, then an interim head coach at Mississippi State when the Beavers played Mississippi State in Omaha in 2018. There goes Siegel. The 1-1 pitch is outside. The throw to second, not in time. The ball dropped at the receiving end by the second baseman, Maddox Maloney, and Kellen Siegel is in with the stolen base. And the count, meanwhile, 2-1 to Tyler Howard, giving the Knights an opportunity, a couple of shots at trying to get this game even. Gary then joined Bill Kinneberg at Utah and succeeded Bill Kinneberg with the Utes. The 3-2 pitch on the way, or 2-1 pitch very high to Howard, ball 3-1. Gary knows very well that his right-hander Elder, very good stuff, notwithstanding, needs to harness it, command it a little bit more consistently. There goes Siegel to third. The 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. Great jump by Kellen. He's at third base with 1 out. Another walk issued by Jackson Elder. 2 stolen bases in the inning for Kellen Siegel, and he clearly stole that on a bit of a negligent right-hander in Elder, not paying attention to Siegel at all. And so now runners at the corners for Ethan Hott with 1 out. And Brooke Knight will go through some signs at third. And we'll see what Brooke chooses to do here. Will he ask Ethan to bunt the run home in a safety squeeze, or give him a chance to swing away and get the run in? Out of the stretch works Jackson Elder. Hott not showing bunt. Ethan takes high and inside, ball 1, 1-0. 3-2 Bend, bottom of the 6th inning. From the stretch, the right-hander Jackson Elder comes back to the plate. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Thank you very much, Dwight. Very kind of you. Some ice and a hot dog. The stuff of ballparks were good. Thank you, sir. 1 ball and 1 strike with the Knights trying to pull even. Siegel at third, Howard at first. Ethan Hott at the plate, and a throw to first. And no throw down to second, with Tyler Howard getting presumably picked. But Ethan Thomas, with some work to do defensively, it would appear, not able to get the ball out of his mitt. He's dropped a couple of throws over there today, too. He's a big, strapping ball player, also from the University of Utah, but did not even make a throw down to second. So Tyler Howard with the 3rd stolen base of the inning for the Knights, in scoring position at second. Kellen Siegel at third base, 1 out. A base hit could give the Knights the lead. Ethan Hott looks at a fastball, catching the outside corner. 1-2 the count. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Ethan singled to left and scored in the 3rd, up to his old tricks in the 4th by drawing a walk. Behind the count here, 1-2. Elder delivers a line drive, base hit to center field. Siegel scores. Brooke Knight is going to round Tyler Howard, who hesitated. Howard scores, and then trying to go to second base, Ethan Hott is tagged out. But the Knights get the lead for the first time today on a 2-run single by Ethan Hott. Good job by Ethan. Kind of a half swing, didn't get a full rip at it, but made enough contact, barreled it up into straightaway center field to get 2 in. But then Ethan Hott thrown out between first and second. The Knights with the lead at 4-3. Tai Yukamoto, the batter, nobody on. Elder delivers. Yukamoto, a fly ball toward the gap in right center field. This will get down for an extra base hit. Brennan Davis chases it down on the warning track in right center. Yukamoto into second with a double. Nice job by Tai. After the Knights had taken the lead on the 2-run single by Ethan Hott, Yukamoto jumps on the first pitch with a double to left center field. And Tyler Quinn, the batter, with an opportunity to add to the Knights' lead here in the bottom of the 6th. 4-3 Corvallis. Jackson Elder from the stretch. A 2-run single for Hott for the lead, a double for Yukamoto. Breaking ball to Quinn is outside. Tyler has grounded to short, had a bunt single, and struck out. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Out of the stretch works Jackson Elder. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Sliced foul down the right field side and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tyler Quinn. Game 2 tonight at 6:35. We'll be back on the air at 6:20 for another pregame show and another opportunity to get to know one of the Knights players here in the summer of 2023 in our pregame show. An in-depth conversation with Ethan Hott earlier today. The 1-1 pitch to Tyler Quinn, who was our pregame show guest yesterday. High and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Quinn 1 for 3 on the day, a bunt single in the third. Takes just outside. Ball 3-1. The Elks have a right-hander throwing in their bullpen. This is probably the last inning of work for Jackson Elder. The Knights spotted Bend 2, caught up in the third with 2, relinquished the lead in the fourth, or gave the lead back in the fourth. Fastball high and inside, ball 4. Tyler Quinn draws the walk. The third walk of the inning yielded by Jackson Elder. And Sam Stem will come to the plate. But the Knights with 2 runs here in the 6th. And Danny Sales is asking time and will head out for a visit with Jackson Elder. Danny is empowered to make a change should he so desire. Joey Wong says occasionally he'll go out and make a move, but we'll see what Sales and Joey have decided to do here. With Sam Stem, who has struck out, singled home 2 runs and grounded to second, Sales will stand pat at the moment and allow Elder to continue to work with Stem here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights with their first lead of the day at 4-3 and have 2 on and 2 out. A version not, I don't think that's King Harvest playing in the background, but Dancing in the Moonlight playing. I believe that was a one-hit wonder, King Harvest and Dancing in the Moonlight. But that was not the version we just heard between innings, but it's a good tune. The pitch on the way to Stem, stroked into left center field for a base hit. Rounding third, on his way to the plate is Yukamoto. He will score standing up. A 3 RBI day for Sam Stem. The Knights lead it 5-3. Ethan Hedges, the batter. The Knights have scored 3 times, stopping at second base on the play. Tyler Quinn. Stem with 3 RBIs on the afternoon. Now Ethan Hedges trying to join the act. He's 0 for 3. The pitch on the way to Ethan is in there for a strike from Elder. 0-1 the count. 3 runs here in the 6th for the Knights, and they have a 5-3 lead, looking for more. With 2 on and 2 out. Quinn at second, Stem at first, 0-1 to Hedges. Breaking ball just missed. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. J.C. Ing, the on-deck hitter. It strikes me as this will be the last batter that Elder will face. Another right-hander throwing in the bullpen back of him. Breaking ball outside, ball 2, 2-1. Been a tough inning for Jackson. It began with a leadoff walk to Kellen Siegel. Siegel stole 2 bases, 3 stolen bases in the inning for the Knights. 2-1 the count to Ethan Hedges. Ethan sprays 1 foul towards the Omaha room, the Corvallis Hotel Omaha room. Lil Knight is down there. Justin watching the action. Lil Knight from the stands in front of the Omaha room as the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out and 3 in the 6th. The Knights leading 5-3. The 2-2 pitch grazes the back of the jersey of Ethan Hedges to load the bases. And we'll see, and indeed that was the last hitter. I thought one way or the other that was going to be the end of the line. They'll cue up the traveling Wilburys perhaps, but it is the end of the line for the right-hander Jackson Elder. And his control does betray him in the 6th. 2 walks in the inning and a hit batter. 3 walks, I should say, and a hit batter in the inning. So shades of last night in this increasingly cloudy Friday afternoon. The Knights have loaded the bases. And J.C. Ing will face a new pitcher coming in. A little bit of Everclear now in the background. Something we had earlier, not so much now. 3 runs here in the 5th, and the Knights aren't done quite yet. J.C. Ng will face a new right-hander coming in. A pitching change break. Bases loaded, 2 down, bottom of the 6th. 5-3 Corvallis. Back after this 90-second pitching change break on the Knights live stream. And 1240 Joe Radio. J.C. Ng will be the first to face big right-hander Jackson Peters. Jackson 6'5", 220 out of Plano, Texas, and is on his way to play for St. Edward's University next season. The Knights have scored 3 times in the inning to lead it 5-3. They have the bases loaded and 2 outs, and the first pitch from Jackson misses down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Peters making his 3rd appearance for the Elks. 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Ng, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. Bases loaded, 2 down. The 1-0 pitch from Jackson, a strike, and the count 1-1. I turn and ask Amy Weiss over here, and I'll look it up. This young man, Jackson Peters, is on his way to St. Edward's University. Have you heard of that? I have not even heard of it. I don't know where it is. So Amy's going to look it up. The young man going to St. Edward's University. The 1-1 pitch, a fly ball to center field. Brennan Davis moving in. He has a play. He makes the catch. And the St. Edward's University-bound right-hander comes in and gets the job done. We're going to look it up and have an answer when we return. The Knights get 3. They leave 3. We go to the 7th. The Knights 5 and Ben 3 on the Knights live stream. And 1240 Joe Radio. Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Corvallis Knights, 5 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Ben, 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Luke Kovac is the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights as we go to the 7th inning. Kovac will face Braden Terry to lead things off, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled back by Braden. 0-1 the count. Terry singled to right to open the game and scored the first of the 2 runs of this ball game for Bend in the first inning. Has since popped out and grounded into a double play with the bases loaded. Kovac to the plate, and Luke misses a bit high. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Kovac making his 5th appearance, and that is tied with Neil Feist for most on the club. He started a ball game. He's gone 6 2/3 heretofore. 2 hits, no runs, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Pitch is fouled back. 1-2 the count to Braden Terry. Kovac, the lefty to the plate. Breaking ball got him swinging. Good looking pitch. 1 away. Braden Terry strikes out, and that'll bring Brennan Davis to the plate. Kovac out of Santa Maria, California. Originally, I've been trying to figure out where exactly he's been and where he's going. That is a piece of information I hope to fully ascertain as we go in these early stages of the Knights' 2023 season. His first pitch, a strike to Brennan Davis. 5-3 Knights in the 7th. Fastball swung on and missed. Wherever he's going, it looks like they're going to like him. Trying to figure out it. Originally to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, then to Lompoc, and now on his way to Allen Hancock and Santa Maria. I can't quite figure it out. The strike 2 pitch is swung on and missed, and they can't figure him out either, they being Braden Terry and Brennan Davis. So that's information, and just trying to read up with a dearth of information. At least we don't have voluminous notes or that type of thing issued out, and we see press releases. And with respect to this left-hander, Kovac, he looks good wherever he's bound for or currently pitching, but that's something between innings I'm going to check on. Kovac to the plate, and Luke's first pitch to Bo Sylvester. Bo out of Oklahoma State misses low and inside, ball 1. But a stop somewhere along the way in Lompoc Community College. Hope he didn't run into the bank dick, keeping Fields from further heroics. 2 outs, nobody on, 5-3 Knights in the 7th. The 1-0 pitch misses down and away. Franklin Pangborn going for a little constitutional in Lompoc. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 down. Kovac working very quickly. The left-hander ready. The 2-0 pitch to Sylvester outside, ball 3, 3-0. Back-to-back strikeouts to open the inning, but very quickly, Luke behind the count to the right-hand hitting Bo Sylvester. 2 outs, nobody on. Kovac to the plate. The 3-0 pitch is outside for ball 4. There are only 2 balls up on the scoreboard, and that's how quickly Kovac was working. You put your head down for a moment to bring up the next stat up on the big board in right center field, and one of the balls was missed. It came that quickly. But a 4-pitch walk to Bo Sylvester after 2 quick outs. Luca DiPaolo, who has struck out twice, the batter. Luca drew a walk in the first inning. The Knights with a 5-3 lead in the 7th. Luca DiPaolo, the batter, with the cloud cover continuing to increase. The pitch on the way, hit foul by Luca off to the right. Luca playing with the Knights last summer. I think I said 2 summers ago, was part of the Knights' presence in winning their 6th straight championship last year. Then on to USC. 12 games and 6 starts for the Trojans, had a couple of home runs. Swings and misses here. And the count 0-2 to Luca. Hoping to avoid the dubious hat trick here today. He struck out twice. He's down in the count 0-2. 5-3 Knights in the top of the 7th. Luke Kovac and Tyler Howard, the battery. Ethan Hedges at first, Ty Yukamoto at second, Tyler Quinn at short, Levi Jones at third, Kellen Siegel in left, J.C. Ing in center, Sam Stem in right. The pitch to DiPaolo hits him. A breaking ball down and in, and The ball hitting DePaulo in his back foot. That's disappointing, certainly for Kovac, to get 2 quick outs by strikeout, and then has issued a walk and hit a batter, and he had DePaulo down in the count 0-2 and hits him. Ty Silva, the batter. The aforementioned Dallas Buck, if he'd get to a 3-0 count, oftentimes would say, I'm going to get my money's worth and hit the guy. He hit 32 batters in 20:05. If he felt he was close or dangerously close to a walk, he would just go ahead and come and throw 32 hit batsmen. Just consider that for a moment in his amazing year in 05. But you don't want to hit a guy when you're up 0-2. Ty Silva takes low and inside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, a check swing tapper up along third, fielded by Kovac. He throws to first, in time for the out to retire the side. Kovac even hesitating on the play before making the throw. Gets Joey Wong more than muttering. He actually has the usual very calm young man Joey Wong yelling for a moment. His displeasure with the call at first. Close play, and I thought the call was going to be safe. Kovac needed to field and throw in a hurry. He hesitated but gets the out at first to avert further trouble in the 7th. Trying to figure out now where Luke is going or has gone, and I'll try to do that here between innings. We go to the bottom of the 7th. In spite of the walk and hit batter, to the bottom of the 7th we go. Still the Knights 5 and Bend 3 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Kellen Siegel, Levi Jones, and Tyler Howard against Jackson Peters, with the Knights leading 5-3. And the first pitch, a herk and jerk delivery, and Kellen Siegel whacks it by the diving Jake Hoskins into left field for a base hit. Siegel had walked in his first 2 plate appearances, jumps on the first pitch that he sees from Jackson Peters. A base hit for Kellen, and that'll bring Levi Jones to the plate. Levi is 0 for 3. Levi will be participating next week on off days on Tuesday and Wednesday here in the Oregon All-Star Series, representing Jesuit, bringing together the top 6A and 5A players in the state. Levi takes low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Out of the stretch works Jackson Peters, throws to first. The ball dropped by Ethan Thomas. Ethan has not been clean at first base today. He's trying to indicate that the ball came in with a little bit of run on it and caused him to drop it. Now that may be on the move to first by Peters, but Ethan's had balls pop in and out of his mitt much of the afternoon. The 1-0 pitch missing high to Levi Jones, ball 2, 2-0. By the way, Luke Kovac, Cal Poly bound. I must have been confused. I think he originally committed to Cal Poly, then went that Lompoc, Allen Hancock, and now back to Cal Poly route. That's what I needed to clarify. The 1-0 pitch off the mid of Luca DiPaolo. That'll be a pass ball on Luca, allowing Kellen Siegel to advance to second. DiPaolo has lost concentration on seeing the ball in. And so the pass ball is also ball 3 to Levi Jones. The Knights leading 5-3 in the bottom of the 7th. Brooke Knight gets his notebook out, and another jotting for Brooke in the third base box. 3-0 to Levi Jones. Kellen Siegel at second, nobody out. Levi green lighted 3-0. Swings and fouls it back, and the count 3-1. There are studies of everything in the era of hyper analytics, including success rate on batters swinging 3-0. It's not particularly high, surprisingly enough. 3-0 doesn't necessarily provide what you would think you would get when you turn hitters loose. The 3-1 pitch hit foul. Now, I say that without having the numbers in front of me. Just one of those many articles in the fire hose of information that comes at all of us day by day by day, world without end, amen. I saw the thing come through, and it just, hey, 3-0, more hitters swinging at 3-0 pitches than ever before, the percentage of which, and of course all that numbers are crunched and they give it to you. All I remember taking away from that without the actual number to present to you here now in this context is the number's not that high. The 3-2 pitch, a ground ball back of first. Siegel will advance to third. Ethan Thomas fields cleanly here and runs it to the bag for the out. One away. Siegel at third base. And in a measure, Levi Jones, though 0-for-4, got the job done there. He advanced the runner. And now Tyler Howard, the batter. Howard with an opportunity for a run batted in with an infield drawn in as instructed by Joey Wong, and hoping to at least get the ball in the air through that drawn in infield on the field turf here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. I understand that beautiful Vince Genna in Bend has gone to an artificial turf infield, and that's good news. A great commitment to that beautiful ballpark, one of the greats in America, in my view. The view of the Cascades in the background, just spectacular, stunning views. The ballpark itself getting a nice addition with that artificial turf. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike to Tyler Howard. That's at least in the notes of my friend Blake Neiman, doing a great job with the Bend Elks and their live stream, the Pride of Philomath High School and the Cronkite School at Arizona State, and in the McGrath family press box today calling the action on the Bend Elks live stream. His notes indicate that an artificial turf has been put in at Vince Genna. Ground ball to short, and with the infield drawn in, Jake Hoskins able to hold Kellen Siegel at third and throw Tyler Howard out. 2 down, and here's Ethan Hott.
Welcome your designated hitter to the plate now from Stanford. Here's number 3.
Ethan
Hott
has singled to left and scored, and then singled home 2 runs in the 6th. He also drew a walk in the 4th inning. So he's walked 4 times in 2 games with the Knights, been hit twice, is 2 for 2. And the pitch to 0-2-0-2, a chopper back of third, backhanded by Michael Ball, throws to first for the out. The inning is over, and the Knights do not execute the game as well as they needed to pick up a run with a runner at third in less than 2. Kellen Siegel, a leadoff single, but is left stranded at third. We go to the 8th. We'll see a new pitcher coming in. As we go to the 8th, the attendance announced this afternoon for Game 1 of the doubleheader, 762 after 1744 on opening night last night. After 7, the Corvallis Knights 5 and the Bend Elks 3 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. We go to the 8th inning at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, 762 looking on. One member in that count is head coach Gary Henderson at the University of Utah, as I've been alluding to off and on throughout the day. And Gary will get a chance to watch another one of his pitchers out of Rapid City, South Dakota. I wish I could pronounce it as well and distinctively as James Mason does in North by Northwest. It's worth watching North by Northwest for many reasons. In my view, Hitchcock's magnum opus, notorious right in there too, but North by Northwest, Rapid City, South Dakota, as pronounced by James Mason, a thing of beauty. Branson Keel from Rapid City and a right-handed pitcher for the Utah Utes in, trying to protect the Knights' lead 5-3. The first pitch to that end here in the top of the 8th inning is hit foul off the facade of the Omaha room down the right side to Ethan Thomas. So it's Ute versus Ute to open the 8th. The two Utes going at it. No balls and a strike to Ethan Thomas, whose walk popped to first and flied to left. Over the top from Branson Keel. Pitched in 19 games for Gary Henderson this past spring. Went 2-0. 29 2/3 innings. He misses away to Ethan Thomas. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch. Again over the top with a fastball in there for a strike to Ethan. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ethan Thomas from Yavapai, heading to the University of Utah. The 1-2 pitch, breaking ball, chop foul, and that got a piece of the right hip of Joey Wong. There was a time that I think Joey would have been able to get out of the way of such a foul ball back in his spring year OSU and pro ball days. 10 years of professional baseball. He didn't seem too concerned about the exit velocity on that foul ball. Allowed it to hit him in the right hip area. He's okay. The 1-2 pitch from the right-hander Branson Keel is low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Keel making his 4th appearance, 3 1/3 no hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. 2 balls and 2 strikes to his future teammate Ethan Thomas. Branson Keel to the plate, fastball down. Ball 3, 3-2. Ethan Thomas, Michael Ball, and Maddox Maloney in the 8th. 5-3 Knights in game 1 of 2 today. From the stretch, the right-hander delivers a line drive right at Knights second baseman Tai Yukamoto, who makes the catch. 1 away in the top of the 8th, and that'll bring Michael Ball to the plate. Or will it? Looks like we have a pinch hitter who stepped into the box without introducing himself and realized, hey, you've got to announce yourself and check in. And so a pinch hitter for Michael Ball. Cody Watanabe is the hitter out of Swak in Coos Bay, the Iolani School in Honolulu. He swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. Quite a move to go from one part of the Pacific Ocean to another. Let's just say there may be some climatic differences coming from Honolulu to Coos Bay. The strike 1 pitch missing a little bit outside, and the count 1-1 to Cody. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of the 8th, 5-3 Knights. The right-hander Branson Keel comes to the plate and misses inside. Brady Jones left after 1 inning. Walked 4 in that inning and didn't seem quite right physically. Not able to go in the second. Caleb Oltz came on from Oltz to Jonathan Stone. And now a good fastball swung on and missed, delivered by Branson Keel to even the count to Watanabe. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Branson from the stretch with nobody on. The 2-2 pitch on the way, a fly ball into left center field for a base hit. J.C. Ng over to cut it off in left center. Good swing by Watanabe going down to get it and serving it the other way into left center. A one-out single, bringing Maddox Maloney to the plate. Maloney, a very good-looking ball player, 6'2", 190. The number 4 overall prospect in the state of Oregon out of Thurston High School. His younger brother, Connor, also committed to the University of Oregon. Coach Wazakowski down the road doing a nice job of keeping some of that closer to home, local talent home, and building a strong program that came within one win of going to Omaha for the first time since the restitution of the sport. And the Maloney brothers hope to be part of a team that can eventually make a breakthrough. The pitch to Maddox swung on and fouled back. Kent State in 2012, after losing the opener of the Super Regional at PK Park, came back to win the next two. And Oregon had its hearts broken this time around by Oral Roberts, which did the same to TCU today. Breaking ball missing inside. If you missed it earlier, we talked about trailing 5-2 going to the ninth. Oral Roberts rallied for 4 and then held TCU off. So Oral Roberts on the winner's side of the bracket in Omaha. 5-3 Knights here in the 8th. 2-1 to Maloney, and now 3-1 as things begin perhaps to tighten up a little bit. The Knights winning last night in the home opener before 1,744. Game 1 today, 762 in the house, with another ball game to come tonight at 6:35, leading 5-3, but things could get interesting if we see ball 4, and we do. And not the kind of interesting that we would necessarily like. Artie Johnson would pronounce it very interesting, I'm sure. Coming out from behind the bush. That'll bring Jake Hoskins to the plate with 2 on and 1 out. Hoskins has struck out, walked, and grounded to short. The tying runs on base in the top of the 8th inning. Branson Keel comes set, and the pitch to Hoskins inside. Nearly got a piece of Jake. Top of the 8th inning. The Knights with a 5-3 lead, but Ben certainly threatening, and we'll see some activity begin in the bullpen here in a moment back of Keel. The 1-0 pitch on the way, punched foul to the right towards the Omaha room and above and beyond. The count even 1-1. Trying to get a feel for who's heading down to the bullpen. Chance Wallace again, I think, is he could be part of the mix. We'll see. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 1 out. A 2-run Knights lead in the 8th. Keel comes back and misses inside. Ball 2, 2-1. Five runs, 8 hits for the Knights. 3 runs and 4 hits for Ben, which took advantage of 4 walks for a 2-run first. Keel to the plate with a runner going. The pitch is a strike. The throw to third is not in time, and now heading down to second base after the throw to third goes Maddox Maloney. So a double steal. Watanabe getting a good jump. Cody steals third, and so the runners in scoring position now. The tying runs. Watanabe at third, Maddox Maloney at second. 2-2 to Jake Hoskins. Keel delivers. Hoskins grounds 1 foul. Outside of first, past first base coach Tyler Hollow. Nice job by Cody Watanabe. A 1-out pinch hit. Gets a steal of third. Maddox Maloney trailing him right behind to get a steal of second. Now Hoskins trying to get Ben even. He swings and it's a comebacker. Fielded by Keel. Looks back the runner, Watanabe at third, and throws to first to get Hoskins. 2 down. And that'll bring to the plate the leadoff hitter, Braden Terry, looking for a clutch 2-out hit to pull Ben even. Runners at second and third and 2 down. The sun beginning to break through again. The cloud cover had kind of hidden the sun for a while, but it's breaking through now as the Bend Elks try to do the same here in the top of the 8th on Play Hooky Day. Trading card and Big League Chew Night tonight, presented by Papay Material Handling. 6:35, first pitch for Game 2. The first pitch here to Braden Terry, a strike from Branson Keel. The 0-1 pitch from Branson misses. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Terry. He opened the game with a single and scored a run. Has since popped to short, grounded into a double play, and struck out. Watanabe at third, Maloney at second, 2 away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Braden Terry. 5-3 Knights in the 8th. Breaking ball foul back. And the right-hander Branson Keel, a strike away from getting out of the inning. One ball and 2 strikes to the left-hand hitting Braden Terry. Runners at second and third, 2 down. The Knights leading 5-3 in the 8th. Big pitch, Keel to the plate, fastball, foul back. Braden Terry out of the Pacific International League, coming into the West Coast League. Went to Everett Community College. Good player at Everett. An all-North, all-region team member. Looking for a clutch hit here to try to draw the Elks even in the 8th. 5-3, the Knights in front. Keel delivers a ground ball back up the middle, and he does that. Watanabe scores. Maddox Maloney will too. A 2-out, 2-run single for Braden Terry, and this ball game is tied at 5. Good ball game for Braden Terry. A run scored, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, a 5-5 tie. Brennan Davis, the batter. Davis walked and scored a run back in the first inning. Has since struck out, been hit by a pitch, and struck out again. 5-5, bottom of the 8th. Bo Kearns comes out of the Knights dugout on the third base side for a visit. We assume some activity behind the right-hander Branson Keel. Brooke Knight himself is pacing down the warning track to check out what's going on in the bullpen. And the Elks pull even on a 2-out, 2-run single by Braden Terry, a 5-5 tie. When the Knights bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, Ty Yukamoto, Tyler Quinn, and Sam Stem, the scheduled hitters. Coach Kearns, after his conversation, heading back into the dugout. And a nice job here in the inning. Watanabe, a pinch hit, base hit, and then 2 stolen bases in the inning to set up the game tying 2-run single. 5-5, top of the 8th inning. Branson Keel going to work now on Brennan Davis with the go-ahead run at first. The pitch on the way, a fly ball into right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Rounding second, Braden Terry. He'll go to third. Back-to-back base hits with 2 outs for the Elks, and they have runners at the corners and 2 down for Bo Sylvester, and an opportunity to regain the lead.
Now batting for the Elks, number 41, Luke Ritter.
And we'll see a hitter for Bo Sylvester, Luke Ritter, hitting for the Bend Elks here in the top of the 8th inning. Ritter trying to give the Elks the lead with runners at the corners, 2 down in the top of the 8th, and a 5-5 tie. Tough inning for Branson Keel. The right-hander to the plate, slider for a strike, and the count 0-1. With 1 out, Bend is followed up with a base hit, a walk, a 2-run single, now another base hit. Keel just trying to keep the Knights on even terms. The right-hander back, the strike 1 pitch is swung on and missed by Ritter. No balls and 2 strikes the count to Luke. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Joey Wong going through a couple of signs at third. 2 stolen bases in the inning. Luke Ritter playing at Lewis and Clark. Young man out of San Diego. The strike 2 pitch, chased and foul tipped, and it got a piece of the home plate umpire. The umpire, in a moment of pain, crouching down, Joey Wong ostensibly talking to his hitter with a count of 0-2 on Ritter, but primarily giving the home plate arbiter time to kind of get back to a slightly better feeling than what he experienced here after that foul tip got him. So he dusts off home plate, does the arbiter. Joey Wong's had his conversation with Ritter. And now we play on with runners at first and third and 2 down, 2 runs in to pull the Elks even at 5. 0-2 to Luke Ritter. Branson Keel delivers, and the breaking ball misses up and in. 1-2 the count. Good ball game, an interesting one. Ben led it 2-0. The Knights pulled even at 2. Ben regained the lead at 3-2. The Knights took the lead 5-3, but now Bend is pulled even. The 1-2 pitch on the way is taken. Strike 3 called to retire the side. However, the Bend Elks rise up for 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go back to action in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 5-5 tie. The Knights and Elks battling through in the first of a doubleheader on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Chase Gomez from the Oregon State University women's golf team, the Pac-12 champions, just came by and said, when can we get on the Joe Beaver Show? All I can say to TJ back in our 1240 Joe Radio studios, I said to Chase what the truth is, that we are off. A summer hiatus, as always, has been the case for the Joe Beaver Show the last 20 years. But make a note of it, please, TJ. Chase Gomez and OSU women's golf in the first week of the return of the Joe Beaver Show in August. Please make a note. If I were Brooke Knight, I'd pull a notepad out, write that down, and tuck it back into my back pocket. But I don't have that. And so, TJ, I'm asking you, make a note. Jay said, when can we get on the Joe Beaver Show? It's a type of request that I don't hear that often. It's usually us imploring and at times even begging. Can you guys come on the Joe Beaver Show? In this case, it was just the opposite. When can we come on? I said, I'd love to have you on right now, but we don't have a show until late August again. But we will do a make good for Chase, who will be a fifth-year senior out of Rosary in Orange County. She said the sister school of Servite in Yorba Linda. A 5-5 tie as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A new pitcher in for Bend. And the first pitch from the right-hander in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. With a nice job by the Elks to pull this ball game even, and now hoping to keep it that way Out of the Bend bullpen is Jake Green, a right-hander from Lewis Clark State in Canberra, down under. 0-1 the count to the Knights' 9-hole hitter Tai Yukamoto, who takes low and inside. Tai's had a good ball game, has singled and doubled and scored twice. Trying to get on and get the Knights back to the lead in the bottom of the 8th after getting caught in the top of the frame. And to that end, a line drive base hit to center field. Tai Yukamoto, a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring Tyler Quinn to the plate. A 3-hit game for Tai Yukamoto. Tyler Quinn, who has a bunt single today, may indeed be asked to bunt sacrificially here with a go-ahead run at first here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Yukamoto is 3 for 3 in stolen bases. He's held on by Ethan Thomas. Jake Green to the plate. Quinn showing bunt, pulls the bat back and takes a strike. 0-1 the count. A 5-5 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. No balls and a strike to Tyler Quinn. Jake out of the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Quinn not bunting, pulls it down the left field line, foul. Foul by about a yard down the line in the corner, and the count to Tyler, no balls and 2 strikes. Sam Stem on deck. Brooke Knight playing it at least on the first pitch to try to get his hot hitter up there and a chance for another run batted in. Stem has driven in 3 today. May have an opportunity for a 4th. Quinn at least trying to get Yukamoto moved in this 5-5 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. Green to the plate. The strike 2 pitch is outside. Ball 1, 1-2. The breezes have shifted a little bit at the start of the game. They were blowing in from left center. Now have shifted a little bit later in the afternoon, blowing out towards left center field. Not a strong breeze, but we see the evidence in the American flag beyond the left field fence. Quinn, a fly ball to left field. Ty Silva going back, still going back, reaches up and makes the catch. Falling down on the warning track, crashing into the fence in left field. Ty Silva, a tremendous catch. And Joey Wong will head out. Brooke Knight also walking that way. The shortstop, Hoskins, Brennan Davis, the center fielder, coming over to inquire of Silva's health. Michaela, the Knights team trainer, also comes out of the dugout. Silva made a great catch going up against the fence. Tai Yukamoto went halfway between first and second. If he had it to do over again, might have been, I understand that, going halfway there, but with him representing the go-ahead run, realizing that if the ball was not caught, he still might have had a chance to get to third anyway. Certainly would have gotten second easily and might have had a chance to go to third with the ball going off the fence and Silva having to play it that way. Yukamoto went halfway, stayed at first base thus, and didn't advance on a really well-done play in left field by Ty Silva. Tyler Quinn just missing a big extra base hit, and we're glad to report that Silva stays on out in left field for the Bend Elks here in the bottom of the 8th inning of a 5-5 tie. Silva, young man out of USC, and the city of the Stanley Cup champion Golden Knights out of Vegas. Good catch by Ty. Sam Stem the batter with Yukamoto at first. Ty might take it upon himself to try to steal second. Stam takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. Sam has struck out, had a 2-run single and a single to center in the 6th to drive in a run. 3 RBIs on the day. Sam Stem awaits, 1-0 the count. Yukamoto goes. The pitch is low. The throw to second, not in time. In fact, the ball goes in to center field. And Yukamoto will motor to third. Huge turn of events here. A stolen base for Yukamoto with Sam Stem taking the pitch intentionally for Yukamoto. DePaulo's throw, skipping past Jake Hoskins into center, gathered by Davis, but Yukamoto now at third. And Sam Stem with an opportunity for his 4th RBI of the day. The infield pulled in by Coach Wong. All of the infielders on the edge of the green. 2-0 to Stem. Green to the plate, just inside, ball 3, 3-0. The go-ahead run 90 feet away, represented by Tai Yukamoto in this 5-5 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-0 to Sam Stem. Hedges, Maloney, Hoskins, all in at the edge of the grass. The 3-0 pitch is ball 4. Runners at the corners and 1 out, and the right-hand hitting Ethan Hedges coming up.
Welcome to the plate now from the University of Southern California. Your first baseman is number 15.
Watanabe is now playing at third base for Michael Ball, whom he pinch hit for. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning of a 5-5 tie, runners at the corners and 1 out. First pitch, a check swing tapper. This will produce the go-ahead run. Wide of first, and saving the toss is Ethan Thomas. He didn't choose to shovel it to Maloney covering, and down the line to score is Yukamoto. The Knights regain the lead at 6-5, and Ethan Hedges picks up the run batted in. 6-5 Knights in the bottom of the 8th. Moving into second base on the play was Sam Stem, and Ethan Thomas, it appears, has some work to do defensively at first. He needs to make a toss there to Maloney. He might have gotten the out. He saved the toss, and everybody's thus safe. J.C. Ing, the batter. J.C. takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Six-5 Knights, bottom of the 8th. Now looking for some insurance to take with them to the top of the 9th inning. 2 on and 1 out. Green to the plate and misses high and away. 1-1 to J.C. Ing has walked, struck out, lined out, and flied out. Sam Stem at second, Ethan Hedges at first. Ethan with a check swing ground ball that produces the go-ahead run. The 1-1 pitch heading to third base against Apollo and getting there safely is Sam Stem with the stolen base. And the trail runner, Ethan Hedges, picks up 90 feet as well into second. So once again, the Knights running the bases as they've done so well and so aggressively through the years under Brooke Knight. Brooke became the skipper of the organization in the 2008 season, won a championship in that first year, won again in 11 and 13, and has won the last 6. And base running's always been a big part of it. The pitch on the way to Ing, a high pop-up in foul territory. Watanabe in the third base side in the coach's box makes the catch for the second out. 2 down. And that'll bring Kellen Siegel to the plate. The infield can return to normal depth. That's a big out, obviously. And now Kellen Siegel, who's had a good day at the plate, coming up in the 4th inning, drew a walk, stole 2 bases in the 6th, and scored a run. Single to left last inning, looking for a 2-out hit to drive into. Takes a strike from Jake Green. 0-1 the count. 6-5 Knights, so they will have at least a 1-run lead to try to finish matters off in the top of the 9th inning. Levi Jones on deck. The strike 1 pitch to Siegel. Breaking ball down to Kellen. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Sam Stem at third. Ethan Hedges at second. 6-5 Knights. Bottom of the 8th inning. The right-hander Jake Green comes set. The 1-1 pitch to Kellen Siegel hits sharply on a hop at third baseman Cody Watanabe. He straightens up and throws across to get the out, and it's pretty good work by the right-hander Jake Green to keep the Knights from adding a run or 2. The Knights, though, do get the lead back and are 3 outs away from taking game 1 of this doubleheader. We go to the 9th. The Knights 6 and Ben 5 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Kellen Siegel, not quite, I suppose, on the spectacular scale of a young man by the name of Shohei Ohtani, the Phenom. Having an amazing, Ruthian's not, I mean, is he surpassing Ruth? I don't quite think so yet. People are starting to talk of Shohei in those hallowed terms. But maybe the most dynamic two-way player in the history of the game, along with Ruth, and those are the only two. And in some respects, Shohei is surpassing, outdistancing Ruth in that he's an everyday starter in the rotation and hitting for himself. And Babe Ruth did a little bit of both in his latter days with the Boston Red Sox, but never quite in the same way that Shohei is accomplishing what he's doing. Anyway, Kellen Siegel, who has helped the Knights offensively a good deal, will try to be the closer here in the top of the ninth with a 6-5 lead. And Kellen's first pitch to Luca DiPaolo misses high. The quick working Kellen Siegel back, and the 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 6-5 Knights, top of the ninth inning. Kellen Siegel, who offensively has walked twice and singled, just missed getting another base hit to maybe seal the game. Now trying to do just that as a pitcher in the top of the ninth. Comes back and misses outside, ball 2, 2-1. Kellen's second appearance, 3 innings. He had allowed a hit and walked 3, and off to a tough start here in the top of the ninth with his 2-1 pitch missing outside. So again, 3 walks in his only other outing in 3 innings. He's behind DiPaolo 3-1, opening the top of the ninth with a 1-run lead. The 3-1 pitch is a strike to run the count full to 3-2. DiPaolo today has walked, struck out twice, and been hit by a pitch. 3-2 to Luca DiPaolo. Kellen Siegel, young man out of Grant and heading to Lynn Benton, comes back with a 3-2 pitch, hit down the right field side, foul, and this will carry out a play. The humidity picking up a little bit, up to 47%, still in the low 80s in terms of the temperature. That humidity is going to be up around 80% at midnight tonight, I'm told. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kellen Siegel looking for the save here in the top of the ninth inning with the Knights leading 6-5. The 3-2 pitch is hammered to right center field. A long run for J.C. Ing, and it will carry over his head and short hop the fence out in right center. DiPaolo into second with a leadoff double. So the Elks with an opportunity here. Runner at second, nobody out in the top of the ninth inning. We'll see a hitter for Ty Silva. Stephen Meyer, who started last night's ball game, will hit for Silva. I hope that's not a function of Silva coming back complaining of pain after making the great catch that he did in the bottom of the 8th inning. But this could just be a left-handed hitter deployed by Joey Wong. Whatever the case, Stephen Meyer hits here in the top of the 9th inning with a chance to pull Bend even with a base hit. DiPaolo a leadoff double. Stephen Meyer takes the first pitch from Kellen in the turf, ball 1, 1-0. 6-5, the Knights in front, but it's a tenuous advantage at the moment here in the top of the 9th inning of game 1 of the doubleheader. Game 2 tonight at 6:35. The 1-0 pitch is up and away, ball 2, 2-0. Ethan Thomas, the on-deck hitter. The Knights outfield very shallow, extremely shallow for Stephen Meyer. And straight away. The 2-0 pitch taken for a strike in the count 2-1. They were fairly shallow for DiPaolo, and Luca was able to muscle it into the gap. No chance for Ing or Stem to get to it, and there would be no chance in a ball hit in a similar spot again with the deployment in a very shallow manner. And the pitch is slap foul down the left field line towards the unoccupied TNT Builders party deck in left. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. In the top of the 9th inning, the Knights trying to bring this one home, leading 6-5, but DiPaolo at second with nobody out. Siegel's 2-2 pitch is lined into left field for a base hit. DiPaolo will be held at third. Baseball thrown back in with runners at the corners and nobody out. So a great opportunity here for Ben to pull this ball game even. Cameron Rowe is now playing left field for the Knights, with Siegel coming from left to pitch. Runners at first and third and nobody out in the top of the ninth inning. The tying run 90 feet away. Ethan Thomas, the batter. DiPaolo at third. Stephen Meyer at first. Kellen Siegel from the stretch delivers a high pop-up into shallow center field. Coming in on the ball is J.C. Ng and Sam Stem. Stem the catch in shallow right center. And holding at third base is Luca DiPaolo. One away. Good pitch by Kellen Siegel. Thomas first ball swinging. Flies out to shallow right center. One gone.
Number 8, Cody Watanabe.
And Cody Watanabe, the batter. Cody got the Elks going with a pinch hit single last inning. And now we'll see a pinch runner for DiPaolo, which may indeed mean that Joey Wong is planning a stratagem of a safety squeeze, perhaps, with Tyler Peterson running for DiPaolo, representing the tying run here in the top of the ninth inning. The Knights infield at double play depth, really closer to halfway than straightaway double play depth. Siegel to the plate, and the first pitch missing down and away to Watanabe. Ball one, 1-0. Peterson, the pinch runner for DiPaolo at third base with one out. Time called. Tyler Howard heading out to the mound to talk to Kellen Siegel, and in fact, Howard calls the entire infield in. A potential of a double steal here with the presence of Peterson at third, running for the catcher Luca DiPaolo, and so the quarterback on the field, Tyler Howard, the catcher, bringing everybody together to talk about how the Knights would want to execute a possible double steal stratagem deployed here by Joey Wong. And so Howard getting everybody on the same page with respect to that. With Cody Watanabe, the batter, the tying run, Tyler Peterson at third. Stephen Meyer at first base. So two newcomers to the game in a big part of the ball game coming into matters here in the ninth inning. Runners at first and third, one out, 1-0 to Watanabe. Kellen Siegel from the stretch delivers a fly ball into shallow center field. Racing in is J.C. Ng. He can't get it, and then the ball goes beyond J.C. In to score is Peterson. Meyer rounding third on his way to the plate. The relay not in time. Ben takes the lead, 7-6 on a single to center field, and the ball taking a quirky hop by the on-charging center fielder J.C. Ng, going behind J.C., allowing a second run to score. And Bend with the lead back, 6-5 here in the top, 7-6, I should say, here in the top of the ninth inning. So two guys who hadn't seen any action in the game come around to score for Bend. Tyler Peterson in from third, a pinch runner. Stephen Meyer, the pinch hitter, scoring from first. And the pitch on the way, a one-hopper to the third baseman, Levi Jones. Plays the hop at the belt buckle. Nicely done. Throws across to first for the out. 2 down. Maddox Maloney grounding out, a couple of the stars of the 6A, 5A series that we'll see here next week at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Cody Watanabe making a strong case to be the Bend Elks player of the game. A pinch hit single last inning. And then a 2-run double here, and now a chance for some insurance. A fly ball to left center, but a diving catch by J.C. Ng on the fly ball off the bat of Jake Hoskins to retire the side. However, Bend gets 2 runs to regain the lead and put the Knights up against it as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Levi Jones, Tyler Howard, and Ethan Hott, the scheduled hitters. Bend has taken the lead as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Elks 7 and the Knights 6 on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Knights trailing by a score of 7-6. Levi Jones against Jake Green. After the Bend Elks plate 2 in the top of the ninth inning, the first pitch is in there for a strike to Levi. 0-1 the count. Jones 0 for 4 on the day. Jake Green attempting to bring home the win for Bend after his teammates delivered 2 in the top of the inning. A fly ball to left center field. And moving over on the run, making the catch out in left. Taking over for Ty Silva out there. And a good catch made, 1 away. One away in the bottom of the ninth inning. A good read on the fly ball to left center field. And that'll bring Tyler Howard to the plate. Jake Green delivers. The first pitch missing, ball 1, 1-0. Very disturbing thing. Bree, thank you for the message. 41-40. I mean, the guy I saw pitching was wearing number 41. I had nobody telling me that. Now, I've got to try to get things clarified here early, sitting outside the box, no open windows. It's my choice. It's my fault. My apologies to Max Debeck's family. If Max was the guy, not Jonathan Stone, that's certainly all on me. And I apologize. But the guy pitching was wearing number 41, which is Jonathan Stone's number. And I'm told that Debeck, who's listed at 40, was the guy pitching or something. We'll work on that. My apologies. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball just missed. And the count goes to 3-1 to Tyler Howard here in the bottom of the ninth. The Knights trailing 7-6. Jake Green from the stretch. The 3-1 pitch on the way to Howard. A fly ball to right field. Braden Terry moving in. Braden is there to make the catch. And the Knights are down to their final out after leading 6-5 going to the top of the ninth. We'll see a pinch hitter now for Ethan Hott. Blake Avila out of Central Arizona Junior College will pinch hit for Hott. Ethan Hott has singled, walked in his ball game, had a good game, 2 RBIs, 2 base hits, but he's lifted for a pinch hitter. Avila takes high, ball 1, 1-0. Avila hoping to tie into a pitch, one big swing, and get the Knights even in game 1 of this doubleheader. But the Knights trailing down to their final out, 7-6 here in the bottom of the ninth inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way, ripped foul. Heading towards the sand volleyball courts here on campus. Out of play in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. reeling over that piece of info. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, nobody on. 7-6 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Green delivers, breaking ball outside, ball 2, 2-1. But the message said something about last night. I guess you mean today, Bree. Music out of nowhere pipes up, and now 2 balls and a strike with 2 down. The Knights trying to keep their hopes alive with Blake Avila, the pinch hitter, here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Out of the stretch works Jake Green. The 2-1 off speed is swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. (7-6) Bend in a back and forth game. The Elks scoring 2 runs in the 8th and 2 in the 9th and lead it by a run. The 2-2 pitch is fouled back. The Knights had a 5-3 lead going to the 8th. So great credit to Joey Wong's club for sticking with it. 2 runs in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and now the Knights are down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, trailing 7-6. Jake Green trying to end it here. The right-hander ready. The 2-2 pitch on the way, lifted foul off third. Good job by Blake Avila, keeping hope alive, fouling the pitch away. The count remains 2-2. Tai Yukamoto on deck. Blake Avila, the pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. Jake Green from the stretch. The right-hander delivers, and it's lined into right field. Base hit. Brayton Terry plays it on a hop. Solid single to right for Avila as a pinch hitter. And the Knights have the tying run on base, and we'll see a pinch runner now for Blake, who got the base hit. So the Knights are hoping for a little bit of magic with their pinch runners. Zach Johnson will be the runner. One of the Knights' pitchers pinch runs for Avila. Representing the tying run here in the bottom of the 9th inning with Tai Yukamoto at the plate. Tai takes a fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. Bottom of the 9th inning, 7-6 Bend. Bend 2 in the first, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. Johnson held on at first by Ethan Thomas. The strike 1 pitch, a pop-up into center field and playable. Brennan Davis calling and makes the catch, and a big rally for the Bend Elks. 4 runs over the last 2 innings, including 2 in the top of the 9th, and Bend wins it by a final score of 7-6 to even the series. The rubber match coming up tonight at 6:35. Good ball game for Bend. They deserved to win. They stayed with it, down 5-3. Stayed after it, 2 runs in the 8th and 2 in the top of the 9th inning to overcome what was once a 5-3 deficit and hold on to win it in the bottom of the 9th by a final score of 7-6. So game 2 of the doubleheader coming up at 6:35 tonight. We will have a little bit of a break here now between games of the doubleheader. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Bend. 6 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error for the Knights. Bend wins it 7-6 to even the series. The Knights will come back and try to win the rubber game tonight. 6:35 will be on the air at 6:20. And now for the entire crew, Casey Lavin, Andrew Henderson, Thomas Rudolph, and TJ Mathewson. This is Mike Parker thanking you for joining us. We'll try to regroup in a lot of ways and be back tonight at 6:20, a couple of hours from now, for game 2 of today's split gate doubleheader. Bend rallies to win the opener. Final score, Bend 7, the Knights 6. We'll talk to you in a couple of hours right back here on the Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio. So long, everybody.